September 3rd and I haven't heard from her. I thought for sure we were starting something that wouldn't allow for what's just occurred. I thought for sure we were, but I haven't heard from her. And I'm singing Mayday, Mayday, 'cause our love lasted no longer than an April day. And I could hear it in the words she'd say. Baby's got something of an August way. At the end of the summer she don't plan to stay. No way, no way, 'cause it's no longer that April day. October 3rd and she hasn't yet called. It seems after all we were never starting nothing that would ever last past the fall. It hurts after all. It hurts after all. And now as I fall, I'm singing Mayday, Mayday, 'cause our love lasted no longer than an April day. And I could hear it in the words she'd say. Baby's got something of an August way, yeah. At the end of the summer she don't plan to stay. No way, no way, 'cause it's no longer that April day. November 3rd and not a word from her. I still haven't heard from her, but I still remember her. And I'm singing Mayday, Mayday, 'cause our love lasted no longer than an April day. And I could hear it in the words she'd say. Baby's got something of an August way, yeah. At the end of the summer she don't plan to stay. No way, no way, 'cause it's no longer that April day. Most of what I wanna know is what's going on. What's wrong? How long has it been since you've seen the sun? Made a joke or said a pun, or even made fun of me. You used to make me think that you wanted me. It's so sad to me. How can I mend you now? 1 year, yes, one more by. A little less of my time thinking, little more of my time high. And I wonder why life hates out to dry, so I think I might go by the east side. Meet me on the east side of the bridge. We know flying is not right, but you might for what you did. Hang your feet from the east side of the bridge. I know they're near there or here, they're taking my ditch, but I don't care. I'll meet you anywhere, so meet me. Rest of what I wanna know, I can't ask. No things stuck in the past that you maybe should have asked about the last time we spoke about pastimes. Like, are you lonely tonight, or were you only lonely that time? Because time won't be the end of another line. Even if this is the end, are you my love or my friend tonight? 1 year, yes, one more by. A little less of my time thinking, a little more of my time high. And I wonder why life hangs you out to dry, so I think I might go by, hang my feet from the east side. Meet me on the east side of the bridge. We know flight is not right, but you might for what you did. Hang your feet from the east side of the bridge. I know they're near there or here, they're taking my ditch, but I don't care. I'll meet you anywhere. Meet me on the east side of the bridge. We'll let the sunrise be both of our alibis. So meet me.
What's going on, guys? It's the Cold Lateral broadcast coming to you late night for some Diablo 3 Season 30 action. Hope you guys are diggity down. We're gonna finish the rest of the day's VOD from Des
Lord of the
Tiny.
Crimson King. This stage, that's no accident, boy.
Who bought it? Like, where'd the knife come from?
So her name is Not So Erudite. It's the one that you
Yeah,
have
that's
to
what I
talk
was
to.
gonna say. Who do I DM?
Yeah, Not So Erudite. Real quick, before we hop in on any of this or read anything else, she 100,000% watches the HQ podcast. Yeah, she was a Frenemies fan. Wait.
I'll have to pull it back up, like an actual autopsy report, because I looked into this a long time ago.
Of course, I probably have more. I wanted to, if I really put a Q on the rope, probably somewhere in the 30s. O2.
As Mr. Knieven leans, we are looking for 55 kilograms. We have 25 on the rope. Oh, and Mr. Knieven appears to collapse. Oh,
He
he's
wouldn't,
This-
even
none
be
of
able
this-
to, he
yeah,
wouldn't be
hold on,
able
yeah.
to kill himself like that because his brain, he would pass out before
Yeah,
he would
thank
even
you.
be able to die.
Yes, the choking
And
expert,
also,
yes. Okay,
it's tied to like halfway down the pole when Epstein killed himself. It was like the bar on the window or something. It was way up higher, and he jumped. He wasn't like running away.
Yes.
See, and I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware of that.
Mhm.
See,
Well,
like,
Okay, that's fine. Also, and then also, I think that when
What's
they
this
found
dog
his,
shit
I don't know.
fucking... Is
It's
this
just a minute
Steven
bit-
Crowder trying to
I
pretend
guess
some
that
shit?
could be possible, but then there's also no thumbprints on the neck. Then they tried to like hang him after.
there's also the okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stop worrying about like so much about who done it. Okay.
Well, I'm not even worried about who
There's
done it. I'm just saying that like there's just like zero evidence for this at all. Like you're talking about like the cleanest sleep kill ever. I don't know if it's like ever been done before. But so I'm just like it's just like yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So the sheets that he actually supposedly hung himself with, I don't know if anybody's actually brought this to your attention, but the sheets aren't strong enough to actually hold somebody like that. in order for them to actually either one snap your hyoid bone or to actually basically choke yourself to death.
Have you tested it?
Wait, shut up. Wait, what do you?
Well,
how, wait.
actually, hang on. Steven Crowder himself actually has tested it on fucking stream. I watched it.
Okay, I can look that up, but also, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of bed sheets. I don't know what kind of bed sheets you wouldn't be able to kill yourself with, right?
There's specific sheets that they make. The only reason I know this because, like, I have family that works in detention centers and whatnot, and they were telling me about, like, when they put them on suicide watch.
Family that
a
works
lot
in
of times they won't give
detention
them bed
centers.
sheets.
Yeah, that is true also, by the way. He wasn't supposed to have a lot of things that other prisoners were attesting to. Because I think he had, like, I think by the end, I think he had, like, 5 different blankets in there. And I think he had 2 pens as well, which he also wasn't supposed to have. But at least in the OIG report, they talked about how apparently the guards, like, were they're a little intimidated and also didn't give a fuck. And anytime Epstein asked for something, if they didn't give it to him, he would, like, threaten to, like, tell his lawyers. So they were just like, okay, fuck it. And then they would, like give him pens, like, retarded shit. What if I can find this quote in here?
Didn't Steven Crowder have someone like kneel on his neck to prove that, like, the George Floyd thing couldn't have been real? So should we really trust his?
Well, this guy probably doesn't believe that George Floyd was.
Scientific analysis?
He probably thinks George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, right?
What's your thought on George Floyd, Mister?
I think that the cop kind of done that. To be honest with you, I do believe the fentanyl obviously played a part in it, but probably the initial cause of it was probably the guy kneeling on his neck.
Wait.
So then,
wait,
do
then
you
why would you believe
that Crowder experiment?
Arguments.
Well, here's the thing, with the Crowder
just
experiment.
yes or no.
No, not really.
So then, why do you believe this one with the bed sheets, if he's proven himself to not be a reliable source?
Because of the way he done both experiments.
Can you elaborate on that?
One, he had doctors and everything else, and on the Epstein one, right? He had I'm trying to remember the name of the doctor they actually brought on stream. He also had actual instruments for testing it, rather than just him being, oh no, I can do this. They actually brought on instruments to, like, figure out, how hard you actually have to pull, all that stuff. And then in the George Floyd thing, obviously, I'll just be honest with you, that was like, you can't really test that out because it's somebody high on fucking fentanyl. And then you're saying, oh, well, it couldn't have been this, but it obviously could have, because I know just as well as anybody that's ever done drugs, if you you get paranoid, you get short of breath sometimes, and, like, it fucks you up. So I can imagine somebody kneeling on your neck just makes it fucking 10 times worse.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's a chance, or I don't even, is it controversial? Is Pisco here? He might get mad. Like, there's a chance that George Floyd probably, or maybe wouldn't have died if he wasn't also, like, on drugs at the same time. But that's not the same thing as saying that drugs killed him, right?
Right.
Yeah. I don't, is that a controversial take, guys? I don't think that's controversial. But, okay, wait. I'm going to watch this quick minute and 10-second video. Is this going to show me everything, or is this just like a teaser trailer?
I think if you scroll, is this the end, or is this the beginning?
I don't even know if Crowder shit is on YouTube anymore, but it's just a minute video saying ICYMI, Steven Crowder tries to empty himself on live stream.
I watched it live, so I couldn't tell you right off the fucking bat. Like I said, it's been a long time, and then obviously this. I'm gonna watch it.
Let me watch. Give me a. Let me. Oh wait, hold on. My ultra-conservative kick mark.
Your $20 off mud subsidies will all be worth it. Earn this. 1 pound or 55 kilograms are what will be required to in game.
I believe we have some footage of that. One spear. And how do things work out there? So, also right over here, his neck. We have a backup here measuring the tension on the rope. Here, this is a diameter here, and we're looking for 55 total to break his neck. And then right below
55
that,
what? 55 like
Total kilograms.
force, or what are they actually measuring?
Didn't you say kilos?
Say what?
Didn't you say kilos?
Is it just like, are they just looking for a weight measurement?
Back up here measuring the tension
Yeah,
on the
kinda.
floor, 55 to. So, also right over here, if you look over
I
here.
think it is. I think he did use it in the video, if I remember correctly.
Maybe, okay.
Where's the window? Wasn't it tied to the window in the bed frame?
The
It
bed-
was,
So,
but I don't know if that'll matter. We'll
also
see.
right over here, if you look over here, the bed sheet. And that bed sheet's going to be connected to Mr. Cerebral, his neck. Right. This apparatus here is.
How do you even know that?
Because isn't that like one of the basic facts of the case?
Okay. Are you like a true crime person? Was Epstein ever covered in true crime stuff?
What we're using to measure the force on his neck. It's going to be measured in kilograms. We're looking for 55 total to break his neck. We have a backup here measuring the tension on the rope. Here is the diameter, and we're looking for 55 total to break his neck. And then right below that, that's the suicide zone. All right, suicide zone. That's where he's going to recreate. He's going to get on his neck. He's going to lean right into the suicide. Just to recreate exactly, specifically, the events leading up to the suicide.
And who was that?
He's the guy.
This broadcast promises to be a warning. No, I really want people to understand that there's a whole team that makes this happen behind the scenes. You know, I run it. We've got the if they're like Steve.
Holy shit!
Audio way, but this is probably the least accurate device that we have. So this is the record of the neck. Is going to be the
That's
first
so
round of the neck.
retarded. It's tied down to like halfway down the bed frame or the pole.
Feels like there's a lot of distance here.
Get this.
Again, this is go time. Putting his foot against the bed. He's pushing. We have 16.1 at the neck, 37 at the neck.
Oh wait, are they trying to say this is how he killed himself? By pushing?
38 on the rope. 38 on the rope. 23 as a high on the neck. We are shooting for 55 kilograms. We are not even close. 41 is the peak on the rope.
What's the
Again,
tally?
this is a stop.
41 on the rope. What do we have on the neck?
23 was the high on the neck.
Okay, so the high. It's 23 kilograms on the neck, 43 on the rope, which is the best that we've had. I don't know if you guys could see, I was pressing up against the bed. Of course, I probably have more. I wanted to, if I really put a 2 on the rope, probably somewhere in the 30s.
Yeah.
02?
As Mr. Can even leans, we are looking for 55 kilograms. We have 25 on the rope.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and
Like I
Mr.
died.
Can appears to collapse. Oh,
He
he's
wouldn't
This-
even
none
be
of
able
this-
to, he
yeah,
wouldn't
hold
be
on,
able
yeah.
to kill himself like that because his brain, he would pass out before
Yeah,
he would
thank
even
you.
be able to die.
Yes, the choking
And
expert,
also,
yes. Okay,
it's tied to like halfway down the pole. When Epstein killed himself, it was like the bar on the window or something. It was way up higher, and he jumped. He wasn't like running away.
Yes.
See, and I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware of that. See,
Well,
like,
Okay,
I
that's
know.
fine. Also, and then also, I think that when they found his body, wasn't his butt off the ground by like an inch or two, or an inch to an inch and a half, I think. But this, it looks like he could fully sit, and his neck's not even being held by the rope.
having been
What
choked
am I
out.
in here?
And we
Yeah. Also, the idea that you could manually choke yourself to death, I don't think that's possible. You have to, yeah, you have to have something to continue choking you when you're when you're not.
yeah, passed out.
What if I go, hold on? What if I go like this?
Nope, nope.
Okay, Gerald, you
I
have
don't
to
know.
wheelbarrow me.
That might be
You
an
have to
actual
wheelbarrow me.
big
Come on.
contention, but still kind of
Hey,
shady.
what's up?
I'll still have to look more into it.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if someone
come
was
back.
gonna kill him, why wouldn't they do it like in a way that seemed more believable? Because don't like less than a quarter of Americans believe that Epstein actually killed himself?
Okay, you listen to my stream. Shut up. You're getting somebody's sending you something. That's what
No,
you're doing.
no,
now. That's
it's
what's happening.
literally-
Somebody's
No,
sending you shit. That is what's
I've
happening. You're
watched-
fucking with me. No.
I've watched like TikToks about it and stuff.
No, you're fucking with me. You're
Okay.
laughing right now. You're fucking with me. I know
Whatever.
you are. Okay. You can't be
Whatever.
gaslit. Okay. I've been gaslit my
Whatever.
whole life. Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
They should have done it in a more believable way.
Yeah.
You're just mad that
I'm
someone
not mad.
else thinks.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. Here's like a question. Why wouldn't they just kill him outside of jail if they had a way to kill this dude? If they were trying to cover shit up, why would they do it in like the most shady fucking place possible? No.
Partly probably because there was probably a rush on it. Partly because he had just got arrested and busted for all the stuff. And this isn't the first time he had been arrested, but this is the first time that like I think he was actually planning on coming forward with some of the evidence he had on people. So I feel like there might have been a kind of a time limit that had been set, so they wanted to go ahead and do it before any court dates or anything was released, so he could get any information out to the press.
Then why didn't they kill Ghislaine and Ghislaine at the same time? Because doesn't she know equally as much?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't know what she knows and what she doesn't. I mean,
Well, but I mean, like, she clearly isn't she literally like giving names to them? Like, wouldn't you want to kill the whole Enterprise like Breaking Bad style if we're actually like going to be killing people in jail? Like, wouldn't that have to be what we do next?
that would be, but then again, then it would be the problem that you said, which was that it would be too conspicuous.
Well, but isn't it already supposedly really conspicuous if less than a quarter of Americans even believe the official story?
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing there. I mean, there's not really, I couldn't really think of an actual way that would not draw attention to this case. I mean, for fuck's sake, you had the sitting president for the first time ever in history to walk into a fucking cell with a prisoner and literally cut off like all forms of communication just to sit down and talk with this fucking pedophile.
Wait, who did that? Wait, who did that? Did that actually happen?
Yeah, it was like I think a week before he fucking committed suicide.
Trump meeting Epstein jail. I'm not saying it didn't. I just didn't know if that was the case. No, there's no way. I feel like I would have heard about that.
I feel like if you're trying to form like a conclusion of like something happening based on something, like shouldn't you go with like the simplest explanation and not the one that you have to jump through hoops to get? Like, we didn't see anyone going in or out of his room. He collected,
of course not.
like,
You're not gonna.
he collected, like, he was collecting blankets. He had a monopoly over blankets at the friggin' prison.
He updated his last will and testament 2 days before killing himself.
So, like, doesn't that all just point to it being a suicide? Like, yeah, it would be better content or whatever if it was a big conspiracy, but like, he probably just killed himself unless there's like strong evidence to prove otherwise. I don't know why no one just wants to accept that.
Well, I'll tell you why. One, it's a high case. Obviously, when there are certain cases like this, there's always going to be people that doubt it. I mean, fuck, there's still people that probably believe that Michael Jackson didn't do what he done. Or fucking O.J. Simpson. So obviously there's always going to be people that disbelieve or believe one way or another. But two, even, okay, let's say I grant you the fact that he was gathering all the blankets and stuff. There was no one in the prison that actually decided to actually do their job. Everybody was
Do you know how
just
prisons are
incompetent.
run?
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, often prisons are run shittily?
Yes.
This wasn't
and
like
no.
a case of something like, oh, the one day that may I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
This wasn't a case of like, oh, the one day that Epstein killed himself, like the prison was suddenly being run shittily and terribly and awfully. Like, no, it was just a bad prison, and yeah, people weren't doing their job, but that wasn't because Epstein was there. It's because they just didn't do their fucking job. They don't care. They're not getting paid enough to give a fuck about their jobs that much. So it's not like this big conspiratorial thing.
That's fair. Yeah. No failure. But I just feel like if it came down to one of like a national case like this, the guards would be a little more on edge and be a little bit more willing to actually go through with all the proper procedures rather than just saying fuck it. The reason I say this is because, like, for example, when 21 Savage got put in the prison here in Georgia, I told you I have family members here that actually work in the detention center. And they said, like, the entire time they were running the prison, like, it was at all times, like, on high alert. Everybody was, like,
yeah, but he wasn't a pedophile.
everybody's battle stations, basically.
I bet some of the guards probably were hoping that Epstein killed himself because he was a shitty guy. You can't compare him to 21 Savage, who wasn't leading a child sexually.
You're absolutely right. That's possible. But just a high case, so I figured they would be more on guard than just because they would probably want to see him brought to justice and everybody else that was in on it.
Maybe, but I mean, it's plausible he killed himself, right?
Yeah, it's plausible. I'm not gonna sit here and say like it's impossible for him to like off himself. I'm just saying it seems a little inconspicuous, like how everything lined up. Like the guards weren't following proper procedure.
Yeah.
The cameras were off.
But it seems
He
like I feel
decides
like
to
a lot of
update
the inconvenient facts are a lot more broad and not as narrow. I just said this twice as originally presented. So for instance, like the guards weren't doing their job. That's true. But when they were interviewing people in the prison, it seems like the guards like never did their job. So like for instance, they were supposed to do checkups that night every 30 minutes. And then when they interviewed other people, there were other inmates that were like, yeah, they're supposed to do that, but they don't ever do this. We've never seen them actually do the 30-minute checks. So, and then like for instance, like the cameras weren't recording. That is true as well, but they hadn't been recording for weeks, and half the cameras in the prison weren't recording. It just seems like a lot of shit was like fucked. Yeah.
Okay, so why would someone that had so much heat on him like that be put in a prison like that to begin with? Wouldn't he be more in a maximum security prison?
I think that was a max security prison. It wasn't.
Jesus
I think there's.
fucking Christ.
I think there's one more above this called. Or no. I'm sorry. This wasn't max. This was very high. I think there were like 5 different levels. It was like very low, low, high, very high, and then administrative high or whatever. And he was in the second highest one. But I imagine they probably only go to the very, very highest ones. My guess is if you're like a security threat inside. Right?
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
So like, why would you put a pedophile in like an administratively max whatever security thing, right?
Right. That would be more reserved for like literal serial killer, psychopathic terrorists. Like,
Oh, and then also even in that one, because common conservative Trump worshiper in the stream, Gisticle, came in and tried to bring up a jail that he could have been moved into because it was an administrative level prison. But when we looked at that one, there had actually been 8 suicides in that prison since it had been opened like 20 years ago too. So it seems like even in those ones, like people are killing themselves. So.
all right. Well, I mean, y'all got me. I mean, obviously there was some stuff I didn't know. Like I said, I might have to get back with you on it.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate it. Okay.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet
love
you.
I'll
Be
love.
careful.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Y'all too. Bye.
Calves and pie. What do you got?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yep. Just to say, I'm a big fan, but I'm going to do a Rob Noor. I don't really have evidence per se, but I would just say the fact that his first attempted suicide, they apparently saved the wrong sort of cell footage, from the wrong cell, sorry. So I find
what
that
from the wrong cell?
so like they basically recorded the wrong sort of cell, like the wrong cell. They recorded the wrong cell or saved the wrong cell footage. Sorry, I'm a bit nervous.
Sure, you're fine. Okay, yeah. I think I remember them saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that they assign, was it 2 guards? Oh, or were the guards for just everyone
I
in
think
general?
the guards they might have been for that whole block. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause on one hand, it's a case of it's increased stupidity because those guards were apparently asleep or just fucking around, didn't check on him. And then what? There was something else about the CCTV footage outside of the cells malfunctioning, and then what was it? The requested video no longer exists on the backup system and has not been since at least August 2019 as a result of technical errors. And yeah, I think I just find it really hard to believe that there was just this massive case of stupidity in the case.
Gotcha. Okay. So. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. I'm gonna ask some questions to kind of understand your story, and then I'm just curious if any of this changes any of your mind. All right.
Okay.
It's kind of weird that the cameras in front of his jail like malfunctioned the night that he was killed. right, or died, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that they couldn't retrieve any footage, or when they thought they'd had footage, it was like mislabeled or whatever. It's kind of weird that the guards happened to not do any checks that night. Supposedly they fell asleep or they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird that he was on his own, even though he just attempted suicide like a week or two earlier, right?
But then, I think I must have, or I didn't say it properly, but yeah, he attempted to commit suicide the first time, and the jail saved the footage from. Or no, I did say that from the wrong cell. It's just
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying. Yeah.
I think that if all of these things are precisely as they are, I do agree that it's like that's a lot of it is really weird. So coming into it, I was writing down like questions. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty strange. Yeah, this is definitely pretty strange. Yeah, for sure. I agree on a lot of these. The thing that I came across as I was reading the OIG report, though, is a lot of these things that seem to be very, very narrow and very conspicuous end up being way broader and less interesting. So in regards to the cameras, right? So the cameras weren't shut off the night that he died. In fact, the cameras were running the whole time. They were streaming the security feed.
Appreciate you, Hollow.
Recording.
Have a good night, man.
However,
Get some good sleep.
It's not that they weren't recording that
Peace.
night. The recording function on the DVR
Thanks for stopping by, brother.
had already been not recording for weeks. And not only had it already not been recording for weeks, like they'd already put in like repair requests for it.
I can do better.
And not only had it not been recording for weeks, and they'd already put in a repair request for it, and people had already looked at it. Apparently, this same DVR2 recording system had literally broken down, like stopped recording 9 times in the past 2 years. And they'd been putting in requests for funding to get like the system upgraded because et cetera. So this whole shit was fucked, and it seemed like it had been fucked for a long time. And it wasn't specific to, it wasn't just specific. Oh, and also the DVR2 recorder was recording for like half the cameras in the prison, or at least in this area. It wasn't just the, it was for like 150 different cameras. It wasn't just the ones in front of Epstein's cells. It was a whole bunch of different cameras. So I feel like when you look at like, and there's a lot of people that can attest to this. There is the electronic technician. There's several different employees in the prison that worked with these systems. There's the lieutenant or whatever. There's the contractors that were being paid to like upgrade the system. There's like a lot of different people that can attest to how fucked this DVR system was. So when I look at like all of these issues, I'm like, okay, I can kind of buy the camera shit being fucked up. That wasn't like a perfect on that night. It just so happened that it just seemed like the camera shit was really fucked. And this prison had a lot of issues with the camera shit. And there were a lot of different people that would attest to that. That was one part. The second part had to do with like the transferring roommates and everything. So he was supposed to be with a roommate all the time. They transferred somebody and left him alone for one night, and they were supposed to do that. That was the thing they weren't supposed to do. However, it seems like when they started interviewing all of the other inmates in this prison to find out like how do the people do their shit, like for instance, they didn't do their 30-minute rounds to check up on people. It seems like a lot of other prisoners were attesting to the fact that like the guards just didn't really give a fuck. For instance, Epstein had tons of blankets. He had 2 pens. He wasn't supposed to have any of this shit, but the guards would just like give it to him because he would like threaten them. And that also other prisoners would attest to the fact that like, oh yeah, like they just don't do rounds. We didn't even know they were supposed to do those. Sometimes they don't do counts. They never check on us at night, and sometimes they just like fall asleep. And also when they first got caught doing this, a lot of them were lying about the guards themselves were lying like, oh no, we did do this, or oh we didn't, we wrote this down or whatever. And then the FBI found out some of these records were falsified, but there's like a history of them like lying about saying like, oh yeah, we did the rounds and they wrote this stuff, but they were just lying because they were sleeping in the office. I feel like for every fact that I look up relating to the Epstein thing, where I thought there was a very specific, very peculiar fact about his death that was very, very, very convenient, it actually seems like there's just a huge record of not giving a fuck in the prison around a lot of the inmates. And I can't find one particular fact that's really hard to explain. Like a particular fact that's like really difficult to understand. It's like, wow, that's really conspicuous with the way that lines up. Do you agree, or do you think that there is a fact somewhere that I'm not accounting for, or that I haven't addressed at all?
But to be honest, I think it's just, I agree, but yeah, I think it's just the sort of magnitude of the case and the fact that he's connected to so many like powerful individuals, sort of. does.
I kind of agree with that a little bit because that was a question too. It's like, oh well, it was a high-profile case. I should write these down. But who were there were like people brought up in chat. Was it Bernie Madoff and two others? There have been like billionaires that have killed themselves in prisons before. Where you'd think like, this is a billionaire. This is a huge case. How the fuck is this guy like just killing himself in jail? Yeah. Sorry. Good.
I think were these sort of billionaires sort of related to, you know, like sort of sexual abuse of children and connected to like high profile figures that couldn't like indict like high profile figures?
Well, keep in mind, unless I'm missing something, I haven't kept up to date on something. I don't think there's any evidence that that Epstein did anything with any high profile figure. We actually don't know that at all. I mean, in terms of like sexual stuff, that right now that's just things that people say, but I don't think there's any proof of that ever. And then also number two, every billionaire has probably schmoozed with a ton of politicians. When you're a billionaire, you probably get access to so many people. It wouldn't surprise me if Bernie Madoff met dozens or hundreds of politicians or people in Congress or things like that. That'd be my guess for any billionaire. Oh, McAfee and Bernie Madoff were the two that were brought up. Sorry, God. No, it wasn't.
I guess that's where. God, I lost my train of thought. I think I would probably like concede there that I would need to go out and find more evidence to sort of support the fact that he was in sort of collusion with videotaping politicians having intercourse with children. But I guess it's just one of those. I don't know if there's been a case like this before, or of this sort of magnitude where there was potential. I don't obviously have evidence. But I guess I don't really. I don't want to do a Rob Nor.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, huge fan of you. Thanks for having me on, and well, I don't know. Can I just say one more thing? Like,
go for it.
Can I? Because I know you said for the disagreement channel, it's only specifically related to the Epstein thing, but I would love to pick your brain. Sorry,
go ahead. You're lagging a lot. Go ahead. You can get through it. I believe in you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say I would love to pick your brain on sort of George Bush and the Iraq War and sort of foreign policy, sort of like Western sort of foreign policy related to that kind of stuff.
Okay. Maybe in the future.
Yeah, we would disagree there, and I would love to have a conversation.
Okay. Love you, buddy. Be careful.
Have a good day.
Okay, Trip, go. What do you got?
Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. So, first off, the 2 hours he had dead in jail, rigor would have set in. Was any of that on the report?
What would have set in?
Rigor. It's like one of the first things you're supposed to check for when you're dealing with a dead body. Rigor and lividity.
My guess is going to be rigor is probably how they determined he was dead for about 2 hours. It kind of looked like on the pictures it set in, but you can't really tell. I don't know if there's other more comprehensive pictures, but...
Right, so the first thing you do when you get to a dead body is you check your ABCs, airway, breathing, circulation. And if you do that correctly, you can feel if the body's stiff or not. And any trained first responder would know if that body was worth transporting or something like that. And if they didn't, they transport his body from the cell when they should have left it there to do a proper investigation.
Wait, are you an EMT?
No, I'm a first responder.
You're a first responder. Like police or firefighter, or are you not comfortable saying? You don't have to, you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable.
Okay. My guess is going to be, well, fuck. So if you're a police or firefighter, my guess is going to be that you are never leaving a body on site unless it is clearly dead. So things like decapitation, maybe really, really, really insane amounts of blood loss, or like maybe an obviously corpseified body. But I seriously doubt that just because you've got somebody in cardiac arrest who looks like them there for a bit, that you're not transferring that person into an ambulance and then to a hospital immediately.
Still, protocol is you work the body, right?
Yep.
But if there's rigor and lividity, you already know it's dead. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but rigor
And
after 2 hours is just going to be like a little bit, right? They're
they
not
said
gonna...
at least 2 hours, right?
Well, no, I think they said about 2 hours is how long they figured he'd been dead for.
Okay, well if it was only 2, yeah, the rigor might not be that bad.
Yeah, I think 2 hours is when it's first like pretty noticeable. When I was like reading a Wikipedia, it said at around 2 hours is when you can notice it, and then I think it's like it maxes what is it, like 12 hours or something? I don't remember.
I thought it said at least 2, so I figured it had a chance of being more.
Yeah. And then if you look at the pictures, it looks like under the legs at the bottoms, maybe there is a little bit of pulling, but it's hard to tell from that side. And I don't know what rigor would look like at 2 hours. But I don't think it was clear that he was like obviously dead when they found him.
Well, besides that, there's nothing wrong with working the body on scene and then calling in a medical professional to determine if they want you to transport the body or not. Because really, the only thing that you can do is CPR.
Yeah, which is what they did. They did CPR, and then the hospital staff came in, and then I think they did. I think they intubated, and then I think they tried to inject with epinephrine or no epinephrine, and then eventually, I think a few minutes later, he goes to the hospital. He's pronounced dead, like 10 minutes later.
Right. So at that point, they don't even need to transport him. They already know he's got no shot. Like after you do CPR and he's not responsive to it, that's it. There's no magical thing they can do at the hospital to resuscitate you after your brain's been shut off for that long.
Well, but one is you don't know how long the person's been in cardiac arrest, right? That you can't really fully determine that on site unless they're obviously dead. And then number 2, I'm reaching here. I believe it is possible to preserve brain function for a long time with CPR. When I say a long time, I mean like 10 plus minutes. I think that's possible. If you're doing CPR correctly and you're doing really good chest compressions, I think you can actually stave off brain death. Am I making that up? Is there a physician in chat who can correct me on this? I think you can if you're doing it really well. But I do agree that 90, probably once to the point where you're doing CPR and the person's in cardiac arrest, my guess is the resuscitation rate is like less than like 3% or something. It's probably really, really rare. I do agree with that, but it is possible.
Right, and then after they grab their AED and they check his heart and try to defib him, if that's it, that's it. There's no like magical thing the hospital's gonna do to just bring him back to life.
Well, I imagine the hospital probably has better tools to more precisely do all of the attempted resuscitation stuff, would be my guess. But also, I just don't think EMTs are ever in the business of pronouncing people dead. You're probably going to get them into a hospital. The tools are probably a bit more precise, I guess. I don't know. And then maybe they can try if there's like a slight pulse or something, maybe. But I just don't think in general, from what I was reading, I could be wrong, but I think in general, I don't think EMTs just don't pronounce people dead, which is not unless their person is obviously clearly dead.
Right. And you seem like you're a smart guy, right? So say you got Epstein in your custody. Would you transport him to this jail? Knowing all this shit that's wrong with it, and has potentially this much dirt on such high-profile people, and you looked at this jail, would you send him to a place? And if you're the supervisor of this jail, and you knew your cameras weren't working, wouldn't you make sure that the cameras on Epstein's cell at least worked, or had like a permanent guard there?
I mean, like, my guess is going to be, unfortunately, this isn't a guess, actually, I just know this. I think the New York Times posted an article on this. A lot of these prisons are underfunded and have really shitty conditions. This prison, so I think there's 2 bad things to take away from this, in my opinion. One is that there was a huge plot to kill him or make him kill himself. And then 2 is that this prison was, like, uniquely fucked, and that's how he was able to kill himself. I think the big takeaway is actually that a lot of our prisons are super underfunded and super fucked. Because I think these problems exist in a lot of different prisons. Yeah. I don't think this one was uniquely bad. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
When you have a guy that tried to kill himself, you don't give him more blankets. That's like rule number 1. Each prisoner, 1 blanket. And you'd never go more than that. Or you could easily be fired if something were to go wrong. And the fact that they just gave him that many blankets, it seems like they kind of gave him the utensils to kill himself.
Wasn't he like threatening them?
Yeah, I mean, like, I do agree with you. That, too, is also bad and dumb. And they also should have been doing rounds and checks and everything. Like, a lot of it was poorly managed. But again, it just seems like the issue is that it seems like this was like a pattern of behavior that had been happening, like, way before Epstein even got there. It was just like a bunch of people that didn't give a fuck.
So have you ever seen the movie 12 Angry Men?
Yes.
Where they take, like, you can pick apart each individual evidence. But when you add it all together, the accumulation of the evidence, the preponderance of the evidence, the odds of all that shit happening, and it just so happens to happen to one of the guys that knows so much shit, is very unlikely.
I think that when you look at the preponderance of evidence, I think it's the exact opposite. I think that him killing himself is super likely. We can agree that he had a good reason to, right? The guy's life was probably over. If he didn't make his next bail hearing, it's probably fucked. We can agree that he... do we agree that his first attempted suicide was he tried to kill himself? That happened?
I'm not arguing that somebody killed him. I'm saying that they gave him the tools to kill himself in the hopes that he would, and somebody like pushed him to do it.
Okay, that's a slight. That's the steel man. That's the best version of the argument. But like, let's look at just looking at the official story. Everything makes sense. There's not anything that's like unbelievable or like a fact that is like totally unaccounted for. If we look at the official story, right? Like,
well, were the other prisoners getting multiple blankets that were suicidal? That's one thing you'd have to check into.
I don't know if they did a blanket inquiry
That's
on
a
everybody.
huge red flag, because as soon as someone's suicidal, you know they're like marked, like, hey, this guy's suicidal. You actually have to check up on them every 15 minutes. You get a punch card, you clock it in, and you do your rounds. So the fact that there was 2 guards who both fell asleep, neither of them checked on a suicidal guy in their ward, and they gave him more blankets, and the cameras didn't work, and they put him in this jail. It's just all seems too unlikely.
But
that doesn't matter. I'm not risking my job for you. I don't care if you're a billionaire. I'll go to my supervisor and say, hey, this guy's requesting more blankets and he's threatening me. And then if they it's on them.
Employee, then the prison should look into hiring you. But I don't think most of the guards have the same reason.
You would,
I don't think
you
that,
would
hold
risk your job to help some guy get more blankets when he could kill himself.
If he's like threatening me, I wouldn't care that much. Yeah, I would probably give him what he wanted.
Well, you don't follow protocol.
I would also say that, well, hold on. Okay, wait, are you a CO? Or you don't have to say, I'm sorry. Well,
yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's fine. My understanding is, like, a lot of the ways that drugs and cell phones and a whole bunch of shit gets into here is facilitated through kind of, like, shady COs, no? Or is that not how, like, a lot of stuff gets into prison? Or am I making that up? Is that just from movies and TV shows?
I mean, I'd assume most drugs get in through smuggling them in from, like, visitors and other type of ways, not really the COs themselves. I mean, occasionally, sure, but...
Okay. I'd be interested to look that up, I guess. Actually, I don't know the answer to that. That's kind of an assumption, and I'm pulling a lot of that from, like, TV shows and movies, so maybe that's not one of them. But I feel like for people to get that stuff in, I feel like it's got to be facilitated by some kind of shady person. And then also, I feel like these jobs... if I were to look this up, I'm gonna guess the median wage of like a correctional officer in like a prison is probably like, I'm gonna guess like, I'm gonna guess like 55K. Median wage, correctional officer, prison guard, person. Prison officer salary in Florida. Shit, I'm gonna way overshot this.
I think actually too, some of the prisoners able to smuggle stuff in before they're even there, when they're being transported.
Not ready yet.
But even still, these guards get threatened daily. Just because one guy threatens, like, hey, I'm gonna be mad at you, and I know people.
Well, but
like,
what if he actually does know
But
people
how
now?
many like billionaires?
Yeah, because he's like a billionaire dude, right?
Are you really gonna want to help a pedo, though?
Well, let's say that he's like, well, give me your name. I'm gonna get your name. I have connections. I'm gonna find out who you are, who your family is. I'm gonna make your family's life a living hell. I'm gonna make your life a living hell. Like, wouldn't you just give him the blanket? Especially
That's
if
a
you're
part
making,
of
like,
the
a
job.
shit wage. But like, are you really like running the prison like a navy? Like, do you really take it that seriously?
When you're on the job, people threaten you like, oh, we're gonna find where you live, we're gonna kill you, we're gonna sue you, we're gonna
Yeah, but I don't think this is just like a
torture your
regular
family.
guy.
It's like, yeah, okay, buddy, get in line.
I don't think this is a regular guy. This is,
Exactly,
like-
he's one of the most high-profile guys
Yeah,
in
so
itself.
if it was some random like criminal threatening me, then like, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If it's Jeffrey Epstein, a billionaire who has a bunch of influence threatening me, I might be like, shit, okay, yeah, here, have another fucking blanket, leave me alone, I'm gonna turn the other way.
your job would be worth more to you than to help some guy get one blanket.
My life and my family's life would be worth more to me than some low-paying job.
True, also, but hold on, okay? I don't think there's evidence that he necessarily...
Yeah, I don't think he threatened their families.
I don't know if he threatened their families, but he was, like, talking shit and was able to get things, from guards. Fuck, I should have... What do I have to control? I have to find it in here.
At that point, you just go to your supervisor and tell them, like, hey, this guy's being a dickhead.
Oh, here. Okay, inmate 3, which was the Tartaglione dude, I don't remember his name, told the OIG that Epstein was allowed to sleep on the floor, which he said was unusual for the SHU, where that was not normally allowed. Inmate 3 said Epstein also had 2 extra blankets, which no other inmate had, as well as 2 pens, which inmates were not allowed to have. Epstein would ask for things, and if the CO said no, Epstein would tell them that he was writing down their name and providing the information to his lawyer. According to Inmate 3, the COs were on eggshells around Epstein. Inmate 3 said that when he left the SHU on August 9th, 2019, there was an orange cloth twisted around the ladder, strings on the side of the ladder, and a string tied across the bed. Inmate 3 explained that the string tied across the bed served as a clothesline, and that the strings were part of a sheet they had ripped. I think that was the thing he might have killed himself with. But, yeah, so it seems like Epstein was kind of bullying around the COs.
Well, they shouldn't have gave him the pens if they didn't want him to write the names down, right?
He could have
that was
also
just a
bribed
joke.
them.
Sure.
But
I know, I
you don't
agree with
give
you. It's
pens to
stupid.
a suicidal guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
It's really dumb. It's really stupid, for sure. But he didn't kill himself with the pens either, right? So it just seems like
Yep.
assuming this is true,
Pretty
they've probably
fucking
done this in the
dumb.
past as well, right?
Yep.
Like I'm
But
sure-
it says in the article
Yeah,
nobody's ever gotten extra blankets. And rule number
well,
one,
no,
you
it said
don't give
nobody. It said nobody had blankets. Nobody else on the floor had blankets, and it was unusual. But it didn't
So
say
all
nobody
this
else had ever
unusual-
gotten it.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
All this unusual shit is happening, right? And when you put all of it together, for all of it to just align right, just so that he's in this shitty prison, their cameras don't work, their guards aren't checking on him, they give him extra blankets to a suicidal guy, they know that he's a high risk for suicide. It's just so
I wonder
unlikely.
why.
Well, so
Wonder why my
your
mic
story is possible. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
guess
say
I
it's
can
possible. Your story's
shout
possible.
and
Okay.
really
But
enunciate,
another story
and it'll
is
get pretty
the
loud.
prison runs like shit.
Yeah.
All the stuff
Okay.
is like degraded and fucked. Epstein is transferred to this jail. He is an incredibly charismatic billionaire dude. Bullies the guys into giving him some shit. Updates his will 2 days before he kills himself. Happens to get into a cell without another person, and then that night seizes the opportunity, kills himself because he knows his life is fucked anyway. I feel like that story also like makes sense, and there's a huge chunk of supporting evidence for every single one of those claims. I think that your story is possible. I'm not gonna say it's impossible. That would be not true.
Booty.
But the problem is there's not a shred of evidence
Booty.
to support any of it. Not
So have you-
circumstantial, not hard. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Have you ever ran a prison cell?
Just for the girls that I keep in my basement, but
Besides that?
no, why?
Okay. So, say you are getting Jeffrey Epstein in your cell, right? And you know the cameras don't work. Can you give me like a couple things you could do to fix that?
Yeah, you could put in a maintenance request, or you could put in an $800,000 contract with another company to upgrade the cameras. These are 2 things that were done by this particular jail before Epstein killed himself. But the problem was they were understaffed. The electronic technicians that were manning the cameras, or were supposed to be fixing the cameras, were also like fixing other shit in the jail cells. Apparently, the lieutenant said that she didn't even know that the things weren't recording initially because she saw the live stream and like, oh, well, if the live stream's here, it must be working. So I agree that there are things that should have been changed, but I think another problem too is that when things happen, we look at it and we're like, isn't this obviously like horrible? Like, why aren't you doing something? But I think it's the same when it comes to DUI, right? My guess is going to be that when you get to, if you're a first responder, you get to the scene of an accident, you see somebody got into a horrible accident, DUI, killed somebody, or somebody in their car or whatever, right? The question is always like, well, why did you do it? What were you thinking? The reality is most people probably drive drunk just fine. Most people probably drive drunk, get home, and they're okay. They swerve a little, whatever. And chances are, if you've got somebody in a horrible DUI scene accident, they've probably done that drive 10 or 20 or 30 times and didn't get into an accident. So you develop like a rhythm or a habit of reckless or negligent behavior, and then finally something happens, and you're like, fuck. And it's easy to look at that thing and be like, dude, obviously you shouldn't have done that. But the person is thinking, well, okay, sure, but like, fuck, like I've gotten away with it over and over and over and over and over again. So like, what the fuck, you know? And it seems like that's what was going on with this jail. None of these problems happened on that night. None of these problems were specific to Epstein. This jail seems like it had been plagued with problems for a long time, and they were like, yeah, you know, they've probably had other high-profile prisoners, other e-celebs, other celebs, whatever the fuck, and it was okay. But then, and this one, it caught up with them, and it was like, fuck. That's the, and I think everything I just said is like supported by like tons of different people, and in this OIG report, your story again is possible, but there's just like no evidence for any of it.
I don't think underpaid security guards would go out of their way to be like Captain America and make sure that a pedophile doesn't kill himself also. Like, they don't give a fuck.
Maybe, sure.
He's not just a pedophile, though. He's got information on such high-profile people that were protected. Didn't the FBI protect him when Florida, the Florida police were investigating him,
So-
and they sent it to the FBI, and they refused to do anything about it?
But, like,
kinda?
I
what
don't
does
know.
that
Wait,
have to
hold
do
on,
with
wait.
the
I don't
guard?
know if that's true. However, wait,
What
what
the
did you?
fuck?
Wait, what did you say right before this?
The Florida Police Department were investigating Jeffrey Epstein, and they called the FBI to like let them know. And their
No, wait,
contact
right
was
before
like,
that.
Oh, this is an open case. Like this is gonna be so easy. Oh, well, before that, I don't remember, dude.
Hold on, wait. Wait, I have to hold on. One second.
Information on such no problem. high-profile people that
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to repeat this point and hammer this into the ground, okay? This keeps getting said over and over again, and I don't think it's actually true. I assumed it was true for a long time, but I don't think it's true. I don't think there's any evidence for this. People keep saying that the weirdest part about Epstein was that a lot of people were about to get implicated into the Epstein, like, child sex trafficking ring. I don't think there's any evidence of that whatsoever. I don't think anybody has attested to that, have they? Because Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison. I don't think there's anybody saying that, like, all these high-profile people are about to go down. Is there?
I thought it was mostly the girls on the island that were witness to it.
Sure, but then what
Like
would
their
killing Epstein, how
testimony.
would that help you at all?
That is too expensive.
Well, because they would probably cut him a deal, right? Hey, if you name drop so much people, your time will get released or reduced.
They're probably more likely to cut a deal with.
We'll put you in
DA.
witness protection.
They would not put Jeffrey Epstein in witness protection because he was like.
I mean, if he
No,
could
witness
drop
prote-
like
Oh.
6 or 7 people, like Prince Andrew and all that, and the Clintons, and
Then why didn't they kill? First of all, like the victims that can testify, and also Ghislaine and everyone else who was like a co-conspirator. It's not like it was just Epstein who was involved. There were plenty of people, and if you wanted to like get rid of all the evidence, then you would have had.
well,
to
he's
kill
the
everyone.
main witness, right? He probably knows way more than all the other. You think he kept the girls involved in the same loop that he was in?
Well,
They
technically,
probably didn't
actually,
know as much.
wouldn't they actually know more? Because doesn't Epstein just wasn't? Fuck, I need to look into the actual case. But my understanding is it wasn't. Wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell like his go-to? Like he was like, listen, bring me underage girls, and she's like, I'll do it, boss. Wouldn't she know more than him about like connecting all that shit up?
Maybe, but from what my understanding was, he would blackmail people like, "Hey, come to my island," and regardless if they knew or not, sleep with the girls,
Yeah.
and then
I've
he
heard that.
was like the mastermind who knew
Mhm.
exactly what happened.
I've heard that said before, but I don't think I've ever seen that reproduced anywhere. Like, can you point me to that blackmail quote? Because I think there was it Epstein's lawyer or somebody else wrote a book about this, and I think he said as much that like there's been no evidence ever presented. For
Yeah, I
that
think it's
ever.
all just speculation.
Sure.
From what I know.
Okay. So it seems like the strongest evidence that points to him being killed is because of people that he might have been able to implicate, but we don't actually know if that ever even happened, and we don't have any evidence that anybody pressured him to kill himself. And it seems like there's a lot of assumptions that are being made to make that theory work. It's possible. Not saying it's impossible. I can't possibly say it's impossible. But there's like no evidence at any point for any of this. It's all like speculation.
It's just all the little bits of stuff that went wrong to allow him to kill himself, and then the phone call that he was allowed to make that wasn't recorded, that they don't even know who he called. All that shit added up. He was given the towels. They knew about the jail being run down. The guards were asleep. They weren't checking on a suicidal dude. None of it really makes sense when you add all the little things that
Sure.
had
So
to
let's
happen
let's
to
let's
create the perfect storm.
But so then let's run this. Let's run with your theory then. What would this have had to have looked like for them to pull this off? So they're paying both guards. They're also, are they disabling or destroying the system, the recording system, or
No, I have no doubt that the cameras were broken and they just threw him in that cell. Easy done.
Okay. So they put him
They
in a
know-
cell where there was a recording camera for anybody entering that cell block. Is the idea that he killed himself or that somebody else in that block killed him?
Oh, he definitely killed himself.
Okay.
But he was allowed to kill himself.
Okay. Why is it that they would have the why would they turn the cameras off instead of just having him on camera killing himself then to like get rid of all the conspiracy theory stuff?
Why wouldn't they want him on camera?
Yeah, why
killing
wouldn't they just have the
himself?
camera like on camera like killing himself? Like, oh look, it's recorded, they killed himself.
It'd be more like the guards checking up on him wouldn't be there.
Yeah, but then like they've got like 3 different excuses for the guards because technically the guards not checking up on him doesn't actually work as an excuse because according to the OIG report, that camera was actually running. You were able to watch Epstein kill himself. I think you might have been able to see it on camera. Actually maybe not because of the way the cell door looked. But the camera was running. It just wasn't recording. The guards were sleeping or just not paying attention. That's the excuses that they give. But like, why not just disable the camera? Why have the camera not recording but live streaming? But then the guards also saying that they were sleeping or not doing their rounds.
Who knows?
Well, it just seems like so much dumb shit. Like I don't know why. If you wanted to make this plan work, why wouldn't you just make him post bail and then kill him when he gets out of jail? And then everything is like.
Because then you're killing a high-profile dude. Like, they wanted to make it look like an accident, right? So.
Well, but then why would they do a billion shady things around this? Like, clearly they fucking failed in obvious ways, right? If it is the fact that, like, they're disabling specific cameras, they're doing things that they shouldn't with a suicidal patient. They're, you know, he already tried to kill himself once, right? Like, this seems like the worst done, like, suicide of all time if they're trying to make it look like a suicide, right? Like, less than 25% of Americans even believe the official story.
Right, but then they can just point to it and go, well, it was just an accident.
Yeah, but like,
All
couldn't
this,
you also
this,
just have
this
him?
stuff was going wrong in the jail forever.
Yeah, but like, why not just like hack his car and like kill him that way once he gets out of jail or something? Like, oh, he got a car accident. Wouldn't that be like so easy?
No one would buy that. If he was able to kill himself in a high jail, that's a suicide is believable. Hey, people kill themselves in jail all the time. Hey, it happens. Oops, our guards screwed up. Oops, our cameras weren't off. They can point to all these things and kind of brush it under the rug. If you like killed him in a car explosion or shot him in the head.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Wouldn't that
obviously,
be a
like
little too
shooting him in the
obvious?
head might not work, but like I think a car accident could probably work. You could also just suicide him in his home, right? If you believe that the guy would commit suicide in prison, why wouldn't you believe he commit suicide in his house?
And then you're kind of waiting for him. Maybe he could spill more information. Maybe
But he hasn't spilled anything, right?
Well-
Why would we think he would spill anything? Especially if he thinks he's going to get off.
I don't know if he was even offered like a deal yet. As far as I was concerned, he was just pleading the fifth.
Sure, but like
Hadn't
let's
said
say we want to plan to do this, right? Let's say like, okay, I need to kill Epstein. Okay, this guy can't survive, right? And I want the fewest people possible involved, right? We probably don't want that many people involved, right? So why not just we're the CIA, NSA, whatever the fuck. So we've got relationships with all the DAs and all this shit, right? So you go to the district attorney and then you tell the district attorney, hey, listen, I don't know, do DAs handle cases themselves or is it always prosecuting attorneys under them? I don't know. You would either go to the DA or the DA and their other person under you and say, hey, listen, this particular person is still involved in a way. We would like it if you guys could cut him a deal like you did in 2008. And we can't have you talk to anybody about this or else all your jobs are gone, okay? And they're like, okay, well, fuck it. So you've got 2 people roped into your theory, plus your intelligence guys, right? They go to Epstein, they say, listen, you need to inform or you need to do something or blah, 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 but we're going to let you post bail. You're going to go to trial or we're going to do some bullshit. We're going to work out a plea agreement. And Epstein's like, okay, fuck it. Like I did in 2008, that's fine. You already did it once. Why would you do it again? He agrees to this. He goes home. As soon as he gets home, you know, Mark Wahlberg is waiting for him there with the scrunchies on his shoes and everything. And then they kill him in his house. Put a gun in his hand, make it look like a suicide. Seems believable.
I think it's more believable that he just hung himself in jail. They can go, oh, it happens all the time. Oh, our cameras weren't working, or lazy jail guards. And my main interest is the phone call that he.
Well, wait, but like,
right
look at
before
the.
he did it.
I agree with that. Okay, but like, look at how your mind is like recontextualizing things based on the type of argument you're making, right? So what you just said is initially coming into this, it feels like your mind is like, there's a lot of weird, inconvenient facts that make this really hard to believe that it's a suicide. But now you're saying, well, the intelligence agents could sell it as suicide. Because I mean, like, sure, they're lazy guards. Cameras weren't working. It happens. So, like, do you think that that's like believable, or do you think that's like highly unbelievable? Because it seems like in one breath you just suggested that that could be a really good plot to kill somebody, but it feels like you were coming in here saying that because of these facts, there's no way that he killed himself.
No, he definitely killed himself, but it was.
I mean, when I
was
say no way he killed
pushed
himself, I mean
into it.
no way he like did it without being like under duress or without being forced by somebody else to do it.
And he did it right after he got that phone call. And he did it with the extra blankets, and he did it with the cameras down, with the guards not checking up on him. Nobody heard it. Like, I don't know. He did it first try.
Well, no, second try, right?
Just second try, yeah. I don't know. Just too much. And you're the smartest intelligence agency in the world, and you're gonna put this guy in a jail that and when you know all this shit, and you're gonna give him extra blankets, and you're not gonna check up on him.
Well, I mean, it's not like the FBI was giving him extra blankets. But I mean, like, what else are you gonna? I mean, what else are you gonna do with him? Are you gonna put him in your office and just have him like chill under your desk?
Even if you're the supervisor, you're like telling your guards like, hey, keep an extra eye on this dude, or you might even go check up on him. Wouldn't you? Like, I would.
I mean, it sounds like with the way that he associates with the guards, you'd never want to talk to this fucking dude, because every time you walk by, he's asking you for shit and then threatening you.
Right. That's exactly why I wouldn't have given him the shit. You know. So I don't know.
Okay. Well.
Like, why would you give a guy like that extra blankets? All of it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does make. Hold on, don't say it doesn't make any sense. It does make sense, right? I mean, there's a story written here that is believable. Whether we think there's a more likely story, but like the idea that you got a billionaire dude who's like, I'm gonna fucking tell my lawyers about you guys and fuck your lives up and blah 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 blah. And they're like, fuck it, have some blankets, whatever. Fuck you, Epstein. Right? That's believable. We can say that it's like, well, no, it's a believable story. I don't think there's anything extraordinary about that.
It's Rule 101, never to give a prisoner an extra blanket, especially if they're suicidal. That's an ultimate no. And on top of the fact he's being a dickhead to you, you wouldn't ever give him an extra blanket.
Do you think that? Do you feel comfortable saying that's a statement that is an absolute in all of federal prisons in the U.S.? No prisoners have gotten extra blankets
that are suicidal.
Yeah.
Probably, I would say like 99% likely.
Careful, for 99%, how many have attempted suicide? If 10,000 attempt suicide, and we're on a 99% rate, that's 100 blankets that have been given out, right? So that's.
So I would say if a blanket was given out to a suicidal guy and he killed himself, you'd be fired. There'd be no shot you kept your job.
Probably, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Didn't all the guards get to keep their jobs, as far as I'm concerned? Or what I've heard.
No shot, right? I feel like the two Tola and Noella, or whatever the fuck, or Noel and Thomas, they were charged criminally with falsifying BOP records. The charges were later dismissed after they successfully fulfilled deferred prosecution agreements. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York declined prosecution for other MCC New York employees. The OIG found fatal false occupation. The combination of these and other failures led to Epstein being unmonitored alone in his cell. Did they get? They must have. I didn't understand, right?
Well, they got their charges dismissed. Isn't that a little strange?
Is it? Are falsifying records at work, is that a criminal affair?
You essentially helped the guy kill himself.
Doesn't matter. Is that a criminal affair? Like, let's say that I run like a hospital and I write something incorrect on a chart, or I lie about like something. Like, you definitely get fired, but is it a criminal matter for falsifying a record there? I'm not sure. I don't know if it'd be a felony or just like a misdemeanor, or I'm not sure.
There's no if they got fired or.
I'm curious. I'd be pretty crazy if they didn't get fired. Noel, Thomas, MCC.
But again, it's Rule 101. Never give a suicidal guy more than one blanket. Sometimes they won't even give you any. They won't even give you a blanket if you're suicidal, just because.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you for saying like Rules 101, but obviously, like going over the OIG report for the prison, there are a ton of rules that were broken in this case.
Right, and then you're putting this guy there for, like, doesn't make any sense.
Well, are you implying that there were ultra well-run prisons that they could have stuck him in?
Or they could have at least made his stay ultra secure. Like, there were things they could have done. They could have put a guard outside of his cell, right?
Possibly, yeah.
had 24/7 monitoring. That's sometimes you do that to make sure suicidal guys have no chance of doing it. You sit a guy right outside of his cell.
Well, but that's probably not standard operating procedure at all, right? They have like a standard operating procedure. Make sure that
You probably do it if the cameras aren't working and a guy.
Well, the cameras were
attempted to
working, they
kill
just weren't
himself.
recording. That was the issue, right?
Right. It's common to do. Guys, suicidal and.
Well, no, then
you're
you put him in
concerned about
suicide watch, right?
And you sit a guy outside the cell, yeah.
Huh.
Or send him to a padded room. Like, I don't know. There's just so many easy fixes that could have been done, and so much stuff that went wrong. It's just too much stuff went wrong for it to just be coincidental, in my opinion. I think it's more likely than not that there was something amiss.
Okay. But you're comfortable believing that, but we have nothing that actually points to that. Just kind of like a lot of coincidental.
It's all the stuff that adds up that makes me believe that.
Okay. But everything that the only issue that I'm getting, I guess, is that like every single thing that you're bringing up also points to negligence, but you're saying it does point to intention. But I've got a lot of evidence of negligence of the prison, but I have no evidence of any of the intention. That's the only thing that's weird, because like you haven't given me a single fact where it's like you can't explain this by negligence. You can, but you're saying that like there's so much negligence that at some point like it must be intentional, but we have nothing to point to the intentionality part.
Well, the evidence on that is that no other prisoners got extra blankets. Not only that, I guarantee you those prisoners weren't suicidal that didn't get extra blankets. So now you have a pseudo-suicidal guy that's getting extra blankets and pens, mind you, too. Just doesn't make sense. And he's allowed to make phone calls and, like, do whatever he wants. And then right after that phone calls when he kills himself, who knows what the guy on the other line said or who he talked to. Could have been somebody threatening him, like, hey, Jeffrey, we know blah, 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 or whatever. We could get the Ghislaine or whatever fuck her name is.
So you think he made a call to somebody who told him to kill himself, basically, or?
Or he called somebody high up there who was like, he's like, hey, can you get me out of this? He's like, there's only one way out. It's the blankets, Jeff.
Okay. Well, anything else?
Nah.
All right.
Nice talking to you. Big fan. Good luck with everything.
Yeah.
On your come up. I can't wait for the Shapiro. Big Shapiro fan here. Can't wait for your guys' debate.
All right. Well, I love you, buddy. Be careful.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
If not giving them blankets is rule 101, that means there's 100 rules ahead of it, so I don't blame the guards for forgetting.
That's not what 101 means. Stop. Okay. Colored eye motherfuckers waiting for you to compliment it. What does this mean? Is brown not a color?
Well, like blue eye. Like, have you seen that meme where it's like, girl, we see them?
No, what is that?
Look up Miley Cyrus, girl, we see them.
Girl, we see them. This isn't gonna be a porn or something, is it?
No.
This?
No. Meme.
Meme. Where?
I'll find it.
Well, just tell me what to look for.
I did!
Girl, we see them, Miley meme. This?
Yeah.
This here? Me H. People with blue eyes.
Because, you know, like, with people with blue eyes are always like...
Is it because she uses like a lot of, what is this, blush? No, eyeshadow? What the fuck is the dumb shit around your fucking eye?
So the joke is that, like, people with, like, light eyes are always looking at you like this. Like, with their eyes really wide, waiting for you to compliment their eyes. And the joke
Does
is
that
like,
happen?
girl, like, we see the... Well, it's a meme.
Well, yeah, but memes usually, like, relate to reality a little bit. That's why...
Well, like, yeah.
So do people... Have you met somebody in their life that's done that? They're like...
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds wild to me. Okay. JP Morgan.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Because no one has any valid...
Solid.
What do you mean we should move on? You can't tell me to move on. This is my stream. I do what the fuck I want, okay?
It was a suggestion.
Yeah, okay. Well, noted, filed, and deleted, okay? I put that on DVR2, the non-functioning recorder.
What is that?
The hard drives that didn't work for Epstein's suicide live stream. JP Morgan to pay U.S. Virgin Islands $75 million to settle Epstein lawsuit. Lawsuit exposed deficiencies in Morgan's oversight of clients, even as employees are dependent. What am I reading this for? Okay, don't care. What the fuck is this? A new Anchor battery. Oh boy. Anchor Prime Power Battery Bank. What do I have?
I am too low on
250 watt charging. My God. Wait, isn't this what I have? Or is this a new one? Oh, this might be a new one. Do you have a battery bank for your phone?
No.
Why not?
Why do I need one?
Because you're a girl and your phone is at like 2% all the time.
I have 2 phones.
Why?
Because?
Are they both the same type of phone?
No.
What are the 2 different phones?
I'll go grab it.
Well, you could just tell me. I don't have to say.
I don't know the model.
Okay, I believe you. Are they both iPhones?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you have the same phone twice? Do you have 2 different phone numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
But it's
I
like
get it
that.
now. No, it's all good. I get it. I understand. I know how it goes. I know it goes. I know it goes. It's all good. It's all good. This is everybody in my chat having a good time. Posting links, chatting with each other. All sorts of genders, skin colors, religions, ethnicities. Everybody's having fun chilling. And then out of nowhere, RTBA comes in looking for somebody to start a fight with so I can fucking ban him for no reason. All the time. And then this is him hanging out in chat, waiting for me to show up, unban the person that he unfairly banned, just having fun, knowing that he's about to fight with me for no fucking reason. How does
you
the
have 2 phones.
So what? Don't worry. Don't read my chat, okay?
No, but you were telling me when you were picking me up from the airport.
Okay. I have
So
2
then why is
phones
it-
for nefarious purposes as well.
Well, mine aren't for nefarious purposes, but why is it okay when you do it? but not
I didn't say it
others?
was okay when I did it, okay? I'm just saying, okay? That guy that Epstein called before he killed himself, you're not going to find that number on my first phone, alright? How does the suicide under duress story explain Epstein not naming the other people? That doesn't stop him from doing it no matter what. You tell a guy already fucked. Who would trust him to do it? If you're ultra steel manning, then the story would go that they tell Epstein that if he doesn't kill himself, they're going to start killing like his fucking brother and his Ghislaine Maxwell's family or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard. Like, we can invent stories, but what were the issues you had with Crowder's experiment? How do you think Epstein did it? Well, the problem with okay, holy Christ, this is stupid. Okay.
Oh, and
Yeah, okay.
here's the collect.
Here's how I think. I don't know if they say it particularly in the OIG report, but it sounds like what happened was you got a bunk bed, okay? Holy shit. Okay, Art. We can do this, guys. Okay. You've got a bunk bed, okay? There's a ladder. And then behind the bunk bed here, there's a window with bars. Okay. Epstein tied a rope blanket thing here. He measured it out so that he could sit on the ground, but he'd be levitating because the rope would be holding him by his neck here. Okay. And then Epstein, on all fours, okay, he sat on the bed here, with this tied around his neck, and then he took a little tumble and he fell off the bed, or he jumped, or whatever. He came off the bed right here. Yeah, there's nothing more submissive and breathable than killing yourself in a prison. Okay. And then he tumbled off the bed here, and when he hit the bottom, the rope would have snapped a few bones in his neck, and then he would just sit there with his ass about an inch to an inch and a half off the ground. Well, he died, basically. Trip to Pound Town. Wow, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. Destiny, this whole idea of needing direct evidence is fucking retarded. No shit, there's not going to be direct evidence supporting a conspiracy. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a conspiracy. It's so funny how you claim to investigate did Epstein kill himself, and all you do is go over the CIA manipulated stories for 2 days and say, well, actually, there's no evidence supporting the conspiracy. Codyzilla, nobody's contesting any of the stuff written in the OIG report, though. What am I, like, just give me one piece of evidence at all to show anything else. Like, that's it. That's all we need. I'm just looking for anything. Seems incredibly convenient, to be honest, that he didn't fuck it up and only partially break his neck either. Or something. What do you mean convenient? He literally failed 2 weeks earlier. That's like inconvenient. What are you talking about? it seems like what Crowder is trying to do here. Crowder is trying to like tie a thing around his neck here, and I guess he's trying to do like what do you call it when you're in the crossover, the fucking crossover thing in the gym where you can put it around your leg and like do like are they called kickbacks? I don't know what the fuck that exercise is called, but he's trying to do like these like quad kickbacks, pushing against the bed frame with the rope tied in the wrong spot in order to like choke himself. But none of this makes sense, because even if he was to do this strong enough to choke himself, one, as he would just pass out and then he would fall back and then he'd wake up. This is stupid. Mule kicks or glute kicks? Yeah, I don't know. Watch to the end, he does it better.
And we have peaked again.
I have felt more alive, but this I think
times when I seem unable to control my body.
doesn't seem to. What we set out to prove, give you the standing up time to be
Strangely, when he thinks me otherwise.
Wait, that was it? I thought you said he did it better at the end. Did I miss something? Was this when he did it better?
Simulating having been choked.
Okay, we have the wheel down here. Get the wheel down here.
Wheelbarrow move.
56!
56. He achieved 56 on the neck and 58 on the rope. Oh, Mr. Crowder is rolling. Mr. Crowder is addressed by the men.
But Destiny ignored the chatter's point. Why would there be direct evidence for a conspiracy? LOL. What do you mean, why would there be direct? Of course there would be direct evidence. The question is, like, would you be able to find it? But I don't even need direct evidence, just like circumstantial evidence or stuff that would be like, basically we're looking for some set of facts that the main story, at the very least, well, something that would be dispositive, okay? If there was a fact that can't be explained by the official story, that would be something that's like, okay, this is unexplainable. Unlikely is not unexplainable. So that'd be the first thing. Is there a fact that is unexplainable by the main story? There are none of those. There's no fact that we can't account for. So that's number one. So the number two is there any evidence, circumstantial or direct, of a second story, of another plausible story, right? Well, there's nothing for that. Well, in that case, then we have to look at our plausible stories, right? Maybe he killed himself, maybe he was forced to kill himself, whatever. And then we have to look at, well, what's the evidence that we have for both? We have no evidence at all, nothing that points to the idea that he was told to kill himself. And we've got a decent amount of evidence that shows that he did kill himself, and he probably wasn't under duress. He'd already tried it before. Like, can you refute all of this? 23 minutes. Oh boy. Larry Lawton. Oh boy, another lawyer guy.
Hey everybody, Larry Lawton.
Can you give a single example of a type of evidence that would be unexplainable? A single example of a type of evidence that would be unexplainable? Sure. Where would we even start? Let's think about the suicide itself, okay? Let's say that there was a, let's say that when Epstein went to kill himself, there was like a struggle or noise or whatever, and other inmates heard this and they were shouting, or they were trying to shout like, hey, somebody come do this, or hey, somebody come whatever, and like no guards were showing up, right? They alerted other people, the whole prison was like, hey, what's going on? Or even like 3 or 4 guys, or at least one person on the block was like, hey, somebody wake up, Epstein's killing himself. And nobody, the guards, like pretended not to hear. That would be like, well, that's really weird. We're gonna need way more information on this. Like, how are you ignoring like other guards like complaining that he's literally killing himself? That might be one piece of evidence. Another piece of evidence might be some sort of autopsy injury that is unexplainable by the circumstances. Maybe Epstein had defensive wounds in his fingernails. Maybe he had bruising on his body to indicate a fight or a struggle. Maybe there was some sort of forensic evidence that showed somebody was in that cell that wasn't supposed to be. These would be circumstantial. What else? Another thing could have been any sort of transmission intercepted that would show somebody was trying to get a hold of Epstein to threaten him or whatever. I don't know if that'd be considered direct evidence. That would probably be direct evidence. Somebody expressing a concern close to Epstein that he might be killed in a manner like this, or forced to commit suicide or whatever like this, and they had something credible or a credible reason to believe it. Might be something not just like he said he wasn't suicidal. Yeah, no shit, he's a suicidal guy trying to kill himself in prison. Of course he's not going to say he's suicidal, and he's not going to be able to suicide himself. Yeah, but like any of these things I think would be. Don't you think the CIA assassins are good enough to avoid this sort of evidence and also make the death look like a suicide? my hope would be, I'm sorry, this is not a hope of mine. I think U.S. intelligence agencies are amazing. I think if the U.S. intelligence agency wanted to make somebody commit suicide, I don't think we would be talking about it on the internet. I think we probably would just never know. That'd be my guess, okay? That'd be my guess.
You're in the RV, having fun. I'm still waiting. We have our view from a person from...
Wouldn't almost all of those, ignoring the cries for help, getting a shady phone call, still be explainable by negligence? It could be, but we're looking for things that are, like, the idea of the people shouting, like, hey, some dude is trying to kill himself, and, like, guards, like, ignoring when they're clearly hearing it, that's a much harder... That we're getting into levels of negligence that are much harder to explain. Oh, actually, hold on, I'll say this. The types of negligence that occurred on the night that he killed himself would also be really hard to explain if they actually happen in the way the conspiracy theorists say that they happen. So, for instance, this is what I'd heard before researching the Epstein case. People said the cameras were shut off the night that he killed himself. That's pretty hard to explain. Or the guards, like, didn't check that night ever, and they're supposed to. That's kind of hard to explain. But when you find out that, like, half the cameras in the prison didn't work, they had not been working for weeks. Oh, okay. The guards regularly don't do checkups. Oh, okay. When the specificity disappears and it starts to broaden into a more general pattern of neglect, rather than an intentional, like, one night, very narrow thing of neglect, which looks a lot more intentional, that weakens that evidence a lot. So there's a lot of things that can, like, look like neglect that would be really hard to explain if they were more narrowed, which is what I initially thought they were, but they weren't, right? The OIG report shows that a lot of these issues were rampant for a long time. And weren't just particularized to his cell. They were, they expanded to a lot of other cells as well, yeah.
So this is going to be a really welcome back. Gary, you and I talked a bunch of videos already. We're having a lot of fun. We're opening it up, and it's great that we can do honest help. You and I talked about this before, but I wanted to really get you here with me.
That makes no sense, Steven. Epstein's too high profile for them to hide his death. Bro, how long was Julian Assange, like, hiding from the whole fucking world? Isn't Edward Snowden, like, literally still in Russia? Like, what do you mean? Bro, shut the fuck up. And also, if he disappears, like, what? Then, oh, he disappeared. No one knows where Epstein is. Like, that's way less sensational than Epstein didn't kill himself, right? That gets way less attention. Hey, Steven, I understand you wanting evidence that points to a non-suicide possibility. Is it possible that it was a job so well done and to be near impossible to find such an evidence to the contrary? It's possible, sure. But not with the evidence that we have presented, I don't think. I've spent time in jail and seen some shit. People go to great lengths to escape the suffering of prison. The conditions in jail were enough to almost break me, and I didn't even have that. Well, to be fair, he was in a jail. He wasn't, like, sentenced to a huge prison or whatever yet, but... Tomorrow, you should investigate 9/11 conspiracies and conclude that the government and Jews didn't plan it because they never made a formal statement of guilt. I'm not looking for a formal statement of guilt. That's not my standard of evidence, bro. I'm not a Trump dick suck, which is what you guys need for any of your proving of guilt. I'm not looking for a confession from anybody. Also, we already went over the 9/11 shit, okay? Destiny, look up pictures of his cell. The rope was tied to the bed like Crowder said. Bro, you're literally lying. You are literally lying. Weasley little liar. We literally looked at these pictures yesterday. You're literally lying. Still lying. Why am I showing you this picture? Well, no, because you want to see it. I know you want to see it. I will show you this picture.
Still waiting.
Photograph of a piece of orange cloth hanging from the bunk bed and Epstein still falling his death. Wait, this is not the same picture we saw before. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm literally lying. Wait, where the what picture did we see with the cloth tied to the window frame thing? Did I Mandela affect this in my brain? Blanket, window, tied. I'm thinking way more.
I will forever live in anguish for my last attempt to honor my king. As we laid him to rest in his burial chamber, he manifested as a hideous skeletal demon.
Stop saying Mandela effect, you know what I mean? I say it just to trigger you, okay?
But I fought on.
Figure 5.6 in the report. cell after his death. I thought there was a more particular picture that we saw. Oh, it was a picture of this up here. Why, hold on, let me, just 1 second. Someone linked you this in chat. Yeah, this was the 60 minutes thing. Maybe this was the 60 minutes claim that it was tied up here, but maybe in the OIG report, maybe they said it was tied to his bunk bed instead. The Day Watch SHU officer in charge for the OIG that in August 2018, each inmate would have been authorized to have 2 sheets and 1 blanket. He said that in the winter, inmates are allowed to have an additional blanket. When interviewed by the OIG, the Day Watch SHU officer in charge reviewed a picture of FC's cell from August 10th, 2018. After it's been removed from the cell, the Day Watch SHU officer in charge said there appeared to be an excess number of linens and blankets in the cell, which he believed were both for Epstein and inmate 3. There were possibly a couple extra sheets as well. You know, there were 2 mattresses in the cell, and deduced inmate 3's assigned items had not yet been removed, even though he departed MCC New York earlier that day. According to the Day Watch, pictures on, he said Epstein had too many linen shirts. Okay, we saw this. Oh, this was the sleep on the floor. How do they find the body? Hold on. Items found in the cell. That's not what we're looking for. Chest compressions, blah blah. Okay, how do they find him?
Nice.
Okay, Thomas explained that when he first entered the cell. Okay, hold on. Let's come to the door, come to the door. Thomas said he did not observe any movement or response, but unlocked the cell door, entered the cell, saw Epstein hanged as described further below. Okay. Thomas explained that when he first entered Epstein's cell, Epstein... Is this the same... Is this the same, cell? Figure 5-3. It's just a picture from over here, I guess? Okay. Thomas explained that when he first entered Epstein's cell, Epstein had an orange string, presumably from a sheet or a shirt around his neck. The end of the string was tied to the top portion of the bunk bed. Epstein was suspended from the top bunk in a near-seated position with his buttocks approximately 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the floor and his legs extended out. Thomas said Epstein did not look discolored or very different from when he last saw Epstein alive. He said he immediately ripped the orange sheet or shirt away from the... Okay, never mind. So I guess it was tied to the bunk bed. You win this one, YouTube chatter. Shut up. What is it? There must be like a string or something, because you can't tie it like around, right? I'm guessing it's looped through something here. Let's tie her body to the floor. Said he did not provide rescue. Was unaware if Epstein was dead or alive. Some medical personnel took over there. Assistant bringing. Said he was present. I said you for an entire shift. Okay. He rolled off the bed. Should he not get bruises from hitting his back? I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on how you drop. The one thing I was looking for in here that they don't have is I don't think they list anywhere in the OIG. We skipped around other parts of this. I don't think they put in here a theory for how he killed himself exactly, like how he jumped off or how he rolled off or whatever. There's a small hole. You can see it in the support beam. Oh, I see. Where it was maybe tied through.
This changes everything. It was a giant conspiracy.
Shut up. Crowder's rope was way longer. That's the problem. He wasn't hovering with his ass 10 inches above the ground. Well, it's 1.5 inches off the ground. But the thing is I don't think he can kill himself by manually applying force. It would have had to have been like a fall. That would be my guess. Where he would have had to have like tumbled off the top bunk. Or could he have just sat hovering off the ground? Because I feel like your feet or your legs would stop it. Maybe not. Could you... I guess I don't know. If your legs are just like resting on the ground, if your heels are resting in front of you, would that be enough to support enough weight off your neck? I'm not sure. I don't know. Does anybody know for this report, do they say here? do they give a theory for how they think he killed himself? Oh, also true, for the bone breaking as well, you'd probably need to tumble off this. You'd have to come off this top bunk for sure. The Clinton body count conspiracy? Bro, fuck that. If he passed out with the thing around his neck, wouldn't it keep strangling him? Yeah, but I just, my question would be is, if you're, here's, okay.
2 seconds.
This is
be
how
right
I
back.
think they say they found him dead, okay? If this is the bunk bed, okay. Okay. Then I think what they're saying is inmates have managed to hang themselves from doorknobs.
They should have like an Epstein cell simulator like they have a JFK one so everyone can...
Shut up.
Oh.
That's so dark. Only if it comes with the prequel.
Yeah, you look like that.
My understanding is
Sick
he
freak.
was here. Listen, you want to talk, okay? He's here.
Yeah, you wanna-
And then his legs are out forward like this. I'm drawing this in very exaggerated proportions. But the question would be, oh my god, I'm not an artist, okay? If you were hanging yourself like this, is this enough to die? If you assume this is like 1 inch off the ground. Or would resting your feet here like be enough to, if you fell first, yes.
Shit's morbid.
Why wouldn't it be?
Brody.
I don't know. I don't know how much weight it would take to choke you up here. None of that explains the neck fractures. Well, the neck fractures are from falling off the top box. Assuming he starts up here and then he falls down like this. It's your entire body weight. Your feet are gonna fuck you anyway. Remember how D'Angelo Barksdale died doing that? Yeah, but is that a real way to kill someone? I'm trying to lean into the wire too much.
Not enough discipline.
I've seen a dude live stream his own choking and he didn't even jump, he just sat down in the air determined to die.
So I'm free. Do you want more?
People spend themselves all the time at prison. Also, most drug addicts die after passing out. Something that restricts their breathing. Sure, but he didn't have any drugs in the system. It's a very common thing. Belt in the closet. I could kill myself like that, but I failed. Jesus Christ.
Your fear betrays you. I like to think the world is safer now.
Hey, y'all. Hey, you got my motherfucking
Not ready yet.
Yeah, now we're cooking with fucking gas. Let's go. Let's go. Oh,
Still waiting.
wrong fucking turn.
Okay, who's next? I should.
Who is next? Destiny. Who the fuck is next?
August wants me to go over that fucking Houthi post.
Who's
Oh, shit, we're going
posting?
More time.
I'm getting a little rowdy late night. Let's go. Why the fuck not?
Oh god, why? I
Can
don't
you
know.
hear me in the back?
Everybody's shit on Hassan. We need to get on our knees.
Not ready yet.
That dude died.
Epstein. We all know who Epstein is.
No, who's Epstein? Tell me who the fuck Epstein is, Brody.
Epstein was kneeling? Wait, was he? Kneeling? I thought that he was found with his... Wait, didn't we just read that his butt was 1 to 1/2 inch off the ground?
His butt. He said butt. That's undignified as shit.
Epstein was suspended from the top bunk in a near-seated position with his buttocks approximately 1 inch to
Buttocks.
1
At least he said
inch and
buttocks,
a half
right?
off the floor. And then his buttocks dropped to the ground. Yes, peacefully. Slowly losing consciousness is peaceful compared to fucking breaking your neck off and fall. Yes, I don't know how this even remotely debate peacefully. Well, I mean, it depends on what we're talking about. If you're doing a blood choke, I'm pretty sure that would be pretty peaceful because you just drift off into unconsciousness and you swim. But if you're doing an air choke, I'm pretty sure that would be the exact opposite of peaceful. I think dying via lack of oxygen or buildup of carbon dioxide in the body is, I think, a pretty excruciating way to die. I don't think anybody likes that. I think it would take a lot to kill yourself that way. To sit there and endure that, I would guess.
When Epstein died,
What did you do right off the bat?
Well, he was great because of his connections with all the Brady Bands.
Now,
When I saw the call back to I thought
with the
three breaks
around the neck,
And
you've seen people dying for it, and I have suicide with hanging off a door. Some aren't suicide. You know,
I'm gonna have some weird ass dreams after this fucking stream. Thank you, Destiny.
Let's explain to the audience how the BOP was or as I call it, the hole, and Gary call it the hole. They call it shoe is the official name for it. That's how you. If a person is in jeopardy in some way or another, they put them in the shoe. Now they have two parts of the shoe. They have what they call the administrative segregation and disciplinary segregation in most shoes. So now I've been in both. Never protective custody. I was there because I was under investigation. So they take you into the administrative part.
They can put you in protective custody. You might not be a rat. There's reasons.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody in protective custody is not a rat.
Oh, absolutely. No, but I just
they can designate you. Like Joe Exotic, I guarantee he's in protective custody.
Now, how it works, everybody, is in a shoe they have what they call tiers. Now, on the end of that tier, they lock that door. So you need another door key to get into that tier, correct?
Correct.
So when now your cell is locked.
There's actually two. They have the range. They have the range gates. And I looked at the Epstein tier. I'm not sure if it was the actual one, but I looked at the photos of the crime scene.
No.
But yeah, they have the gate that goes on the tier that should be locked, and then the individual cells are locked.
Right. Well,
and you can't access the key from the inside your cell. They have that metal plate on.
Right. Exactly. You can't do that. And matter of fact, as an inmate or anything, if you're ever out of your cell, you have to be handcuffed behind your back. You have to be done, unless you're on order or whatever. Yeah. So now, Gary, so they have two lock places and they have a control set. Can you explain? Give us a view, because I don't know it. Obviously, I know if I go through them. I did enough shoes. Give the audience what they it's like. Like, is there a control booth?
There's a. I've worked in 4 prisons, and they're all set up the same that I've been.
Right. Same with me.
But yeah, there's not a control booth because everything's a turnkey inside the shoe for security reasons.
Turnkey is what he means. It's not electronic, where you can't get behind the gate. Every door is individually, manually turned, locked, and checked.
So there's like you come in through a sally port, which means a door opens. You go in, that door closes. Then whoever's in there will let you in with a turnkey and come in. So there's security. You can't just get in and out of the front.
Right. Okay. Now, but there's usually 2 guards on.
There's normally always 2 guards. Right. There's usually more.
During the day,
they have to be showered.
Right.
During this time, the suicide happened at night.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get into that.
But it's set up. Yeah, there's not a control where you press buttons. Right. But there is an officer station where you can see there's 4 tiers, like you said, straight 2 up and 2 down.
Now, supposedly there's cameras going on all these tiers.
That's what I've heard. There wasn't cameras anywhere when I was
Why? Right. But why weren't these cameras on? Because that's another thing.
That's an interesting point that's fueled a lot of the speculation about the conspiracy. They had the film. I researched this a lot. They had cameras on them, but they only had them pointing on the guards that were sleeping or whatever they were doing. And his attorney later asked for it. Apparently, they tried to commit suicide fire. He asked for that film, and they gave it to him, but it wasn't the right range. They had given him the film from another range. And then when they said, this isn't the right film, we can't find it.
Yeah, I love that. I love when body cameras on cops or anywhere there's no, because cameras, everybody is so cheap today. Obviously, I have cameras around my house. I have 5 cameras around my house. So, I mean, it can be done easily.
But there was cameras everywhere else, so that narrows down who could have.
Don't ever make the. Okay, these guys aren't government employees, right? They can't be. Were these guys just inmates, or? Watch ex-prisoner and jewel thief Larry Lawton discuss, or Larry Lawton. Wait, Lawton? Does that mean he's a lawyer, or? No. Oh, I thought Lawton. I thought it was like a play on words. Like he's a lawyer, Lawton. Oh, they're just ex-cons. Oh, okay, yeah. These guys clearly don't work government jobs. Or any corporate job ever. If you're ever like working with some new piece of technology and you're like, oh my god, like this is so good, like it would be so easy to just do this at our entire fucking job. Being able to support things across an entire enterprise and consistency and reliability are the most important things on any huge level. The idea that just because there's something new that exists, that like Amazon Alexa or whatever, you're like, oh, well, why wouldn't prisons just put this in? Is 1, it's because you don't know the reliability of it. 2, you don't have the money for it. And 3, you're going to have to upgrade a fuck ton of infrastructure, train people or retrain people on new shit. There's like a whole bunch of reasons why it's not even just government stuff, but a whole bunch of like large corporate shit can be outdated or whatever for a variety of reasons. Like unless there's like a pressing, like bleeding edge security problem, or there's like a huge financial incentive to upgrade, people will put that shit off for a long fucking time. But
killed him if he didn't kill.
What? Thanks. Wait, tell him I'm a big fan, okay? Tell him I said big ups. If that's cool, okay?
Because you have to get in.
Who do you believe killed him?
His cellmate. I don't know for sure, and God help me, I'm not accusing him.
No, we're just an opinion.
The guy was a cop before he was a real jack.
Oh, but his cellmate wasn't even there the day that he died, unless he thinks he came back. He was already transferred out.
Gorilla looking, big white guy, steroided up. He had a quadruple homicide, and one of them he tried to make look like a suicide.
Another one, right?
And I think he killed him. And
well,
I think he killed him.
I think I do too. Now, you tell the audience how you think he did it.
Okay, my opinion, with the cameras that are working, you can eliminate what it ain't, you know? You might not know exactly what's happened there, but you can specifically know what didn't happen. So no one came in that front door for the reasons we just said. There's no other way into the shoe but through that front door. So the murderer, and I believe it was accomplices, were 2 people is what I think. I think one of the guards was in on it, in my opinion. There's no film, and I believe that they opened the cell doors at an earlier time, and the guy went in there and killed him. Killed him at 4:30. They didn't find him until 6:30, which means they counted him dead, apparently. Hanging there.
And if he's hanging, how can that happen, right? If they did. Now, what they're going to say, all these slept through count, and that's what they would charge for 5 for sleeping through count.
No one sleeps through count. They would have set an alarm. I ain't gonna lie, I've slept before.
An alarm goes off if you don't sleep?
I'm setting my
alarm.
Oh,
you mean
I was so tired I was going to take a nap. I'd set a 15-minute alarm or something.
To know that count time?
Yeah, it's count time. 3 times a night, midnight, 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the bureau, every day.
Every day is a count.
And 4 p.m. stand-up count.
Yep.
And on the weekends,
10 a.m.
some kind of count.
10 a.m. count in the daytime, and the weekends, and then they have the
It's all bureau-wide. Everything's
well, they have a 9 p.m. count.
Okay, so it does sound like that guy worked with ex-prison guard Gary Massey. Sorry, okay. So that guy was a prison guard. Weird statements, but okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember. I always counted it up.
That's right.
They do. But now, so
Curious, like what jail he worked in, or if we could look up like track record of like jails he looked in. It feels like people talking to me, like you ask a question and it's like oh, like am I ever gonna get expired meat in a restaurant? And you're like, oh, expired meat. Well, no, because the FDA regulation says that we would never leave a piece of meat out at room temperature for more than an hour on a counter, or oh, like we would never do this thing, blah blah blah. It's like there's like written policies. But realistically, like what actually happens is not the written policy, depending on the type of restaurant you're working.
I believe, this is what I believe, and I tell everybody this. I believe another inmate did it because, listen to me, and I know this is going to sound bad. If you give me $50 million, I don't think he would have made the next day either. I mean,
those people would have killed him for free.
Well, I was just going to say they could have waited, but they didn't want him to get out into where he can open his mouth. We know what happens. But the reason we believe this is because we know the structures of shoes and how they work. It had to be someone to open the door. So one of the guards had to open that door. You can't just get a key off a guard. You can't make a thing. You can't pick that lock. It's none of that crap. Go on to pick a lock to get in there.
You can't. Even if the food trade's open, if you had the key that fit that door, your arm won't reach up to where the key is to open it.
So you couldn't even do it that way.
You know how it is.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
You can reach around the door. It's
No.
too far.
No, they couldn't. What he's trying to say is they couldn't drop the key into the cell, and then you reach and leave the food slot open. This is a food slot where they pass the food through, and reach up. You can't.
So
It's not possible.
That's not a possibility.
No. So somebody had to open that door, and I don't believe he killed himself. Not with 3 neck breaks.
I think the biggest suspicion thing is Epstein was tied to the most high-profile case of all. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I don't want to say this because it's gonna poison you, like your impression of me for all the conservatives. Okay, but this is what it feels like. Okay, if you're a conservative, you really want, and for a lot of left-wing people, you really want there to be a big pedophile sex trafficking ring that involves every rich person in the world. You want that. You love that story. You think about it every fucking night. Okay, you fall asleep to dreams of 11-year-old girls getting penetrated by Bill Clinton and every rich person in the world, except for the ones that you like Donald Trump, right? That's what's going on in your mind. And Epstein just happens to be the perfect scapegoat to facilitate that story. That's what you want. Epstein probably knew Biden, he knew Hunter, he knew the Clintons, he knew everybody, and now he died, and now we can't implicate all these guys, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's what you want. That's what you want. Again, the idea that this was going to be the highest profile case of sex trafficking or any of that, I don't think there's a shred of evidence for any of that. I don't know that there's any evidence of that, right? Where is why isn't Ghislaine or whatever implicated any high profile? What happened to the Prince Andrew case? Yeah, I don't know. I have to look into the Prince Andrew one more, but it seems like people keep saying that, like, why wouldn't you protect this guy? He was connected to the most high profile case of all time. It doesn't sound like it. I've never seen any evidence. That sounds like he's just a weird dude that sex trafficked kids and other girls. But the evidence that he worked with all these other high profile people and they all went and fucked people, that's just like a fantasy. That's like a sex fantasy that you conservatives have. But
there's several things with that. The 3 neck breaks were strange. He had a big contusion on the back of his neck. To me, I thought somebody just went up and whacked him right in the back of the head.
If I wanted to kill him, I could, physically.
They had to kill him with somebody that could do it quick so he wouldn't get caught and make a lot of noise on the range. This guy was a monster.
Listen, you and I know I could. I know you could.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way. He's a 60-something-year-old man. Yeah, but physically did that.
But they went over killing him. It's not.
Are you actually denying the Epstein files released recently? Wait, Cody Zilla, just give me the one biggest thing from the Epstein files that I can look up in 5 minutes. Give me the one biggest thing from the Epstein files released recently. Cody Zilla, in Cage Chat, I'm staring at you. Give me the one biggest thing. Don't give me like, well, there was a blah, 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 all these random things. Give me the one biggest thing, and I'll look at it right now, okay? Tell me.
The other thing I was going to say, it's very irregular. The noose that they used in the evidence.
Give me 1 minute, I'll chat. You don't even know off the top of your head? What's like, give me the one biggest thing from the Epstein files. It's like a huge thing.
That Bill Clinton liked young girls and that he was having intercourse with them. The Stephen Hawking thing was proven fake.
Sure, I don't even know if that Bill Clinton thing is real. What? It's a fact that they all went to his pedo island. I know that doesn't mean they did anything, but it is not implausible. And Bill Clinton fucked somebody, Monica Lewinsky, in the Oval Office. Does that mean every president and every chief of staff and every single person is also implicated in, like, the grooming of secretaries and interns? Like, the guy's a billionaire. I imagine his island is a pretty big place, and I doubt he's fucking sex-trafficked women 24/7 on the island.
He said he wants to collab with you.
Who? That's... Oh. Churdleys? Bro, Churdleys ever wanted to collab in this video? That would be my dream. That means I would retire after that. I'm waiting for this guy to give me the biggest thing. God, you know the most annoying fucking cuck shit? I'm trying not to get too sucked into this because I hate all of you because you're all so predictable too. The most annoying thing is that you guys will look at like one connection of a connection of a connection of a connection, be like, I bet Bill Clinton was raping little girls on Epstein's island without any actual evidence at all. Then you fucking retards will look at Andrew Tate The guy who's admitted it like 50 million fucking times on camera, DMs 15-year-olds in fucking Romania, all this shit. You'd be like, well, actually, I think he was set up, and I think that he was actually just putting on a character and a persona for the YouTube videos, and when he was selling the courses, he didn't actually mean that stuff, and when he talked about bottom bitch statistic away, he was referring to the girl, he was actually just kind of blah, blah, blah. Like, God, fuck, I hate you all so much. I hate you guys so much. I know for a fact that the same people that say that Andrew Tate is fucking innocent, did nothing wrong, are probably out here saying, I know for a fact that every single person on Epstein flight logs fucked little girls. God, you fucking losers. I hate you all so much.
The initial card said he cut it down. They have like a seatbelt though.
Right, sure, I have one.
He said he saw Epstein at 6:30, went there, cut him down, but the noose that's on display didn't cut it. It's got a hem on the end. The bedsheet's got a hem. And that's the end of his type of thing. He didn't cut it.
So he took it down.
Yeah. Well, it's got a hem on the end. The bedsheet's got a hem. That's the end of his type of thing. He didn't cut it.
So he took it down.
Had to, right?
Yeah. Well, I also don't understand why he's on suicide watch. There's one person himself.
That's way out of policy, way out of bounds.
Way out of bounds.
He went on suicide watch sometime prior. I don't know the time frame.
Suicide watch. And it's one person himself.
That's way out of policy. Way out.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Not cut.
Well, I also don't understand why he's on suicide watch, and there's one person himself.
That's way out of policy, way out of bounds.
Way out of bounds.
He went on.
Oh shit, we're about to watch these guys backwards rationalize from a set of facts that are incomplete. They're about to make the claim that having a person in the cell of a suicidal patient is actually incredibly abnormal, when the reality is, it sounds like that is actually the actual policy, I think, according to the OIG report. And the reason why he killed himself is because somebody wasn't in his cell. So it's like they're about to super rationalize the exact opposite of what.
On suicide watch sometime prior. I don't know the time frame. And when they make someone a suicide attempt or a suicide.
Have you been on?
Yeah.
Okay, tell the audience how that works.
Well, you mentioned it before in the other videos. They put them in like a suicide or a dry cell. And a dry cell is just basically a cell with a concrete block or and it has a giant.
Oh, I'm sorry. He might be talking about the suicide watch prior, but Epstein was out of suicide watch. He was in there for like 6 days, right?
It's terrible. It's terrible. And the guy wears a paper suit. There's no running water in there or anything. And you're under observation.
And you have to do it 24/7.
If that's not possible, they'll at least come by in 15 minutes. I'm only speaking on the things I know of from 2007.
Now, would that what they've done? Would they be union violations?
Yeah.
Well, just fired. I mean, it's easy. Give me $15 million and fire me.
Yeah, they could do it with cryptocurrency.
Oh,
yeah, they could do it, and they could be
absolutely.
But there had to be 2 people, or an operative had to be snuck in there in some kind of a way. And to me, it's just so.
That's out of
so crazy. You'll get sawdust. Someone.
I think you're saying, and I get what you're saying that the inmate did. I'm not saying. I'm saying
maybe.
And the reason I say that is. The greatest secret in the world, and I talk about it on this channel. Who can keep a secret? Three can keep a secret 2 a day.
Yeah, right.
And the more people involved somebody wants. You give any guard, I'm telling you, these people were billionaires and whatever they were, they're involved in this case. Give somebody $50 million. You say, listen, you might go to trial, you might not, you can get away. Even if you're done, your family, everybody's taken care of for the rest of their life. These people
Somebody will do it. I wouldn't want to murder on my.
No, I know you wouldn't. I didn't say you wouldn't. But think about that now. Yeah. Easier for a guard to come in, put Epstein.
That's a lot of money to give to a guy that would be directly implicated in Epstein's murder, who would have the entire world's eyes on him. Like, is there any evidence these guys have gotten any money? Have they fled to?
The guard. Now Epstein turns around, he bams him, chokes him out, puts him up on the thing, locks the door, and goes. There's no video.
There's no video.
So why wouldn't that be more plausible than?
Well, that's not true. There'd be video of him going in and out. So that's they also. But these guys are. This is a show from 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So they don't have the same or 3 years ago. They don't have the same report that we're working with. They're just making a ton of assumptions based on an incomplete set of facts. Do you actually think Epstein wasn't trafficking girls? I think isn't that a foregone conclusion? I thought Epstein absolutely was trafficking girls, or rather, I don't think he was trafficking them directly, but he had people underneath him to go and traffic the girls for him. But I think that's
definitely
that's
trafficking
a fact,
girls.
is it?
No question.
Okay, what did you link? Okay. For the record, I asked for the strongest piece of information that's come out from the Epstein stuff so far. The strongest piece of information, and this is what I was linked by Cody Zilla. All right. Not looking good for Bill Clinton. Thoughts? I won't poison my mind by saying who this guy is first. Question, let me back up. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton. I did not know they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Okay. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Okay. Don't we know that's true? Wasn't Monica Lewinsky like 22 and Bill was like 60 something? How old was Monica Lewinsky and Bill Clinton during... Clinton was 49 and Lewinsky was 22. Am I supposed to interpret this as Clinton likes to fuck children? Is that how we're reading this? That's not the implication. Then wouldn't they ask that specifically? Was Jeffrey referring to
Why wouldn't
minors?
he say? Why wouldn't he say young women instead of young girls?
Because women is a weird word to say.
For who?
For literally everybody. Well, that's because you're a xenophobe.
Your fear betrays you.
I was living in secret about what I, wait, let's see. Where's the rest of this? Also, why am I getting this one? Why am I getting two questions and responses?
Like if someone tells you, "Hey, stay away from this guy. He likes young girls." Like, what's your mind gonna go to? Like, be serious.
Usually I'm gonna think of like minors, sure.
Yeah.
But I think but if I'm gonna if in a casual conversation, yes. But in a deposition?
Yeah. Just why not say young women then?
In a deposition, I'm gonna ask a more particular question, right? I'm not gonna ask like, oh, did you ever hurt your ex?
I'm glazing.
I'm not. Who am I glazing? Who can we play the sex of? Yeah. But no, I feel like you're gonna ask more particular questions. Like, did you ever hurt your ex? Yeah. You're gonna be like, wait, did you slap her? Did you punch her? You're gonna ask like something more specific.
Well, is there more?
I don't know. Where's the red? I just got a picture of 2 questions answered. Can somebody give me the Can somebody give me like the full transcript of this, or where does this come from?
Can you disavow that I'm your niece? Because then that mixed with like the incest conversation earlier, like it just looks bad.
Need more time.
You're not my niece. There's slightly more in the pictures below. Yeah, but like, why would I trust this fucking random guy who's cutting me up this picture? I just want to see the full, Oh, case 1. This is the full logs.
That was just a taste.
Okay. He's on page 41. Oh wait, we can just control F Bill, right? Oh, fuck, I don't know if I can search this. Bill Clinton. Oh, God. Okay. This is page, what did I say? 41. That's gonna probably say Epstein was innocent if he was a Democrat. My guess is he probably was a Democrat. What do you mean? Am I wrong? Isn't he Jewish? Isn't that what Epstein? Isn't that a Jewish thing?
I don't know.
Epstein, Wikipedia. Jewish. Yeah. Both of his parents were Jewish.
He has a really unfortunate face.
What do you mean by that? He was literally the Riz master.
Is that who you get your tips from?
I don't know. I'm not a billionaire yet. Okay, damn.
Is that why you have someone closer in age to your son here?
Listen, my kid is old, okay? I can't help that. Jesus. Okay.
Returning to town.
Chill, also. Damn. Okay. Questions about massages with minors.
Fucking coking them.
My God.
You said if I could roll with the punches, you could too.
I can, but I'm gonna destroy you. You're gonna be crying, okay? In a little bit, I'm gonna feel bad.
Fuck yeah.
Your abuse is sick, Stephen.
Yeah, it will be sick. Okay, this was page 22. Okay. Okay, questions about massages with minors. Maxwell, confidential questions. Mr. Paglius. Oh my God, what are these fucking names? Okay, what is the source of these? Is this a deposition for Maxwell's case? Unsealed Jeffrey Epstein court papers with documents in full. Hundreds of pages of documents linked to Epstein Associates were made public on Wednesday. You can read them here in full. Court documents linked to associates of sex offender Jeffrey Epstein were made public on Wednesday. The unsealed papers run to almost 950 pages and list people, including Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton. The inclusion of a name in this list does not mean that said associate has been accused of wrongdoing in relation to Epstein. Among the names are people mentioned in passing at legal proceedings.
What do you think the odds are that Bill Clinton was like diddling kids on the island?
That Bill Clinton was diddling kids on the island?
Did you see the video of when they asked him about it?
No.
Like his vibes were just weird.
Well, he probably got mad, right?
No, he was like.
What'd he say?
Well, watch it.
Bill Clinton asked about Epstein. This one?
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
What am I supposed to read from this?
That's the face of a man reminiscing on the good old days.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
See the way his eyes lit up?
Yeah. Okay. Questions about massages with minors. Okay. Confident. Okay, I'm assuming this is a deposition. I'm instructing her not to answer. I'm assuming Mr. Peglucia or whatever is her lawyer, attorney, and we will be back here again. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? Can you repeat the question? Miss Colley, Mr. I can't copy paste. Pegluisa. Lawyer? Top rated attorney. Can I not? Oh, okay. Who are Ghislaine Maxwell's defense team?
JFK would have never been on that island.
You don't know that?
That's why they got him taken out.
True. That's because he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's her attorney. Okay. I'm assuming this is a deposition for her relating to this. Okay. You ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? Can you repeat the question? Yes. Have you ever given a massage to Mr. Epstein with a female that was under the age of 18? No. Have you ever observed Mr. Epstein having a massage given by an individual, a female who was under the age of 18? No. Have you ever observed females under the age of 18 in the presence of Jeffrey Epstein at his home? Object to the Foreman Foundation. Answer again. I have friends that have children. Good one. Hiring a massage therapist. Wait, what? This just skips around. Fuck. Wait, nice jokes. They're coming for me, okay? It's all over. 41. Let's get down here more. Was she under 18 when you first met her? I have no idea how old she was when I first met her. She looked like a child when you first met her. I don't remember what she looked like at the time. She was in the house. How many years had you known her? I can only recall the last time I saw her. What was the first time you met her? Again, I just told you. I don't recall the first time I met her. Did Blank travel with you on Jeffrey's planes? I wouldn't remember if Blank was on the plane or not. Did you ever have sex with Blank? No. Did you ever observe Jeffrey having sex with Blank? No. Were you aware that Jeffrey was having sexual contact with Blank when she was 13 years old? Object to the Foreman Foundation. I'd be very shocked and surprised if that were true. What does it mean when an objection is being stated? Wait, where's Pisco? When you do an objection during a deposition, how do you know if you're like right or how do you figure out if it's granted or not? Or is the objection just noted, the person answers the question anyway? There's no way that would be the case.
Overruled or sustained.
Or esports Batman. It's just noted? You really would just note an objection and then you would expect your defendant to answer the question anyway? That seems wild, right? Or maybe the deposition itself would be inadmissible to evidence then. Maybe.
Is there anyone there to overrule it?
No, because it's a deposition. It's just two lawyers and their clients. And then like a stenographer, a recorder or something, I think. But, okay. Fish, okay. Were you in the house when Blank was in the house in a private area with Jeffrey Epstein? Object to the Foreman Foundation. Can you repeat the question? Were you ever in the Palm Beach house when Jeffrey Epstein was in the house with Blank? Oh, dude, that's not even far from here. I've already testified that I've met her and that she was there. I don't know what you're asking. So you have never seen... Wait, did we skip pages? 39 to 40? No. Check, is that your testimony? Already said I don't recall all the times I've seen her, and I have no memory of that. Have you ever seen Blank
What's
in
up,
the house
Mad
of Jeffrey Epstein?
XXXXX?
So you don't recall seeing Blank. Were you ever involved in an orgy with
Yeah, that's
Blank?
5
No,
X's.
absolutely not. Can you tell me, do you know an individual by the name of Nadia Markinkova? How would you know for sure if you have been involved in an orgy with somebody?
Well, that's good to hear.
I do. Have you ever met Nadia Markinkova? At some point, she was a friend of Jeffrey's, and I recall meeting her at some point. Maxwell Confidential. Did Jeffrey arrange for a visa for Nadia Markinkova? Is this like one of the key victims or something that's like underage or something? Maybe? You see them? What if I come over to some guy's apartment and we're like having an orgy and there are people in another room that are like part of the orgy but you never go into the other room? You could theoretically
but
be
then
in
you're not part of the orgy.
What do you mean they're not part of So there'd be two orgies happening in the same
Grand
apartment?
SSE, and this is a solo self character, so I'm not.
If there was
I'm
like
not really
5 people fucking in
capable
there,
of
and there were 5 people fucking in here, you say, oh, they're all having an orgy.
carrying anybody.
Not together, no.
So there are 2 orgies.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I am
What if 1 or 2 people go
demon
back
hunter.
and forth? Are they switching orgies?
Yes.
Oh my god.
So does that mean that if you and I were hooking up in one
Hold
room
up
and
2
then 2
seconds.
people were hooking up in the other room, like we're just like all 4?
So we got a lot of X's in the chat here. To Mad, yeah, I chose to go. This is a solo self-found demon hunter. I'm probably gonna end up with the Marauder class doing Sentry. But for the time being, I'm actually doing a really crazy mutt build with bolas and 2 pieces of the shadow. And I'm actually getting. I mean, what did I just finish? I just finished a level 57 Greater Rift with just these 2, and this little set bonus here isn't doing a goddamn thing. Maybe a little bit of extra damage for the bolas, but yeah, Exo Pharaoh, are you playing season or what? Because as far as season is concerned, I don't have anybody who's not this guy, and this guy can't play multiplayer. So, holler at me, gentlemen. Let me sort this shit out for a minute, though. Got a bunch of Marauder stuff. Lacuni Prowlers, those can go. Haunt of Vaxo can go. Obsidian Ring, I will keep. Shard of Hate can go. More Marauder shit. Just for the sake of it. Leoric Signet. Just in case. Just in case.
Unleash your power.
This might get hard.
Need more time. He won't survive that. Still waiting.
Y'all heard me, right? Surprised you didn't have anything else to say after that.
Need more time. It was just a taste. Still waiting. Not ready yet. We find more like that.
I'm sure we can, silly man.
Need more feel my wrath. Still waiting.
I need to find a fucking nemesis bracer. I'm tired of hitting all these pylons and shrines and not getting a boss out of it.
Need more time. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet. Sweet revenge. Still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet. Still waiting. Do you want more? The Rift Guardian has arrived. Need more time. Not ready yet.
Interesting. Some really, really interesting little shards. Soul shards going on here this season. You got a 90% chance and you just give me that fail. Suck on this. Alright, well, if y'all don't got no other things to say,
pair
Back
of us are
on
having a
goes the
foursome because it's not
Destiny.
living under the same roof.
Cheers. I hope you're lurking. Drop me a follow.
No, but I feel like an orgy
Appreciate
is like
you
an
guys.
event. It's not just like just
What do you mean an
describing.
event?
It's like a whole. It's like an event.
It's an
Like if
action.
two people are having sex here and one person having sex there, you wouldn't say they're having a
How is one
threesome.
person having a sex? How is one person
Would
having
they
sex?
masturbate? They e-sex. They're e-girlfriend. Okay. They're
They
e-girl,
e-sex.
Okay. But if you're having like,
So what if it's a gay orgy?
wait, okay, hold on,
No, no,
hold on,
no.
wait, I got it. Okay. What if, okay, like, if I was eating here, if we were eating,
Mhm.
okay, and then Lycan was in the other room eating, okay, we're
Mhm.
not all eating together, all right?
Mhm.
But if you were like, did you Lycan and Steve go over to Steve's apartment yesterday for dinner? We'd say yes.
Are you equating eating food to having sex with someone?
I didn't have to equate them, but I'm saying were you all at the same orgy? Yeah, but like not.
But that's not the same orgy. That's like
Okay, what if it's an orgy in the same room, but there's 5 people here, 5 people, and they don't actually interact with each other? Are
then
they part
those
of
are
the same?
two different orgies.
No shot. I can't believe this. No,
What
that's
if one
wild.
of them is a gay orgy and then one of them is like a straight orgy?
It's just a big orgy with a lot of LGBT people.
No, they're completely different orgies.
No, you can't have 2 orgies
Yes,
that close
you
together.
can. What?
That would be like if I take 2 piles of sand and I merge them, do I have
Not
2 different piles of sand that are now in one pile, or just one pile of sand? Exactly. There you go.
Repeat
All right.
that.
No, too late. Okay. Objective Farming Foundation. Girls under the age of 18. Same objection. I have no idea. Was Nadia involved with sex with Jeffrey and girls over the age of 18? Same objection. I have no idea. Did Nadia recruit other girls for sex with Jeffrey? Object to the Farming Foundation. I have no idea. Just to talk to Nadia? No. Is she a pilot? I have no idea. Questions about Mr. Epstein and sex. Acts. I'm asking whether any of the massage therapists perform sexual acts for Mr. Epstein, as I've just described. I have never seen anybody have sexual intercourse with Jeffrey ever.
So
Be right back.
let's say that,
You're still not taking the L on this.
there's two orgies going on in your house, like the way that I see it, and
Yeah.
some, like, while you're over there doing your business, someone sneaks in an underage person in that room. Would you say you're then part of that orgy with the underage person, even though you're in a different room? Like, would you incriminate yourself like that, or would you say no, there were two different orgies, we were in a different room?
You can claim there were two different orgies, okay?
What do you no, answer the question
You were
directly.
part of an orgy with a minor. You fucked up.
That doesn't make sense. If you were locked in that room and then someone brought a minor into that room, they're two different orgies. How is that the same one?
You would be implicated though. You'd be part of the orgy.
But like.
Okay, have you heard of Romeo and Juliet laws?
Mm-hmm.
Under your logic, okay, let's say that a 15-year-old, I think for Romeo and Juliet, it's like a 15-year-old might be able to fuck an 18-year-old, right? I think. Because it's like within like 3 or 4 years. 16 and 18?
Yeah.
No, because isn't 16 age you consent in a lot of states?
I don't know.
Don't act like you don't. Oh, you don't know because you don't care. You're just entrapping men. Okay, that's what you're doing. Okay. All right.
wish.
Let's say it's legal for 15 and 18 because of Romeo and Juliet laws, right? Let's say that you were 45, okay? Let's say that 15-year-old boy is here. He's getting a blowjob from his 18-year-old girlfriend here, and then you're fucking the 18-year-old girlfriend from the back. Do you think that's okay since you're not touching the person up front? Or are you in a threesome with the person up front even though you're not touching them?
Are they all in the same room?
Yeah, you're literally connected by the dicks
Are
to
the people
girl.
in both orgies in the same room, or are they in
They don't
different
have to be in the
rooms?
same room. They just have to
Then
be in the same
then
general.
where's your logic? Then
That's the
completely
logic.
different. That's that's
my
completely
God.
different.
Okay. You're just wrong. All right.
You're just wrong.
Let's say that 5 people are fucking at a table in front of you and you're like on the couch watching masturbating. It's like 3 feet away from you. Are you part of the orgy or are you not part of that orgy?
You're being cucked.
You're not part of the orgy?
Yes, but you're in the same room watching the orgy. You're not in a different orgy in a different room.
Well, but you just said if 2 orgies were happening. Okay, here's a question, okay? Let's say everybody's fucking. One guy goes to the couch for a minute, okay, takes a break and he's watching. Is he no longer part of the orgy or is he still part of that orgy?
He is a part of the orgy.
Okay, but if he looks to the left where there's another orgy happening, you're saying he's not part of that orgy. They're
not
two separate
until he goes and like does some sexual act in that orgy. Like if he penetrates someone, then he's in the orgy.
No, you're just completely wrong. Okay. Let me finish this. I got 30 minutes till fucking kick or keep. God damn it. All right. All right. I've never seen anybody have sexual intercourse with Jeffrey ever. I'm not asking about sexual intercourse. I'm asking about any sexual act, touching of the breast. Did you ever see? Can you read back the question? Record, read. Record, read. Oh, the recorder, whatever. I'm not addressing any questions about consensual adult sex. If you want to talk about what the subject matter, which is defamation and lying, Virginia Roberts, what you and Virginia Roberts are participating in perpetrating her lies, I'm happy to address those. I never saw any inappropriate underage activities with Jeffrey ever. Question. I'm not asking about underage. I'm asking about whether any of the masseuses that were at the home performed sexual acts for Jeffrey Epstein. I just answered the question, and you haven't. Wait, oh my god. Is this not this right? No, it's... Unless there's like another... They restart the numbering. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Maybe I need to look at the actual case number. I'm just gonna... Well, you should have asked, 7433. Oh, page 42 of 179. Oh. Just control of Clinton. It doesn't work, you fucking re... Hold on. Oh. 128, 179. Wait, is that what the number was? Okay, here we go. Page 42 of 179. Check disagreements are like 4 people. Yeah, hold on. Page 42. That's what we're looking for.
Just a taste.
That's no, you're wrong. You're gonna die. I don't really like Harry's tonight. You died. that's not my response. Okay. Okay, what did you hear? I heard him call someone and say, that guy is in Hawaii. What the fuck are these names? Can we find some girls for him? And what was your reaction to that? Well, I was massaging and I didn't have a reaction. I tried to remain reactionless the whole 5 years. Oh wait, this isn't Maxwell anymore. Who is this? Download the document research. No, too late. We're too deep in now. Okay, hold on. We're on document page 204. Okay, what is this? Position of, okay, of Joanne Schoberg, pursuant to notice, okay, Johanna Schoberg, who is this person? Oh. 5 fastbacks, okay, so 39-year-old hairstylist, small business owner in West Palm Beach, Florida, who alleged Prince Andrew groped her at Jeffrey Epstein's New York townhouse in 2001. Okay, that's the thing that goes here. 201. Okay. Did Ghislaine ever describe to you what types of girls Jeffrey liked? Model types. Did Ghislaine ever talk to you about how you should act on Jeffrey? She just had a conversation with me that I should always act grateful. Did Jeffrey ever tell you that he took a girl's virginity? He did not tell me. He told a friend of mine. And what do you recall about that? Objection, hearsay, foundation. He wanted to have a friend of mine come out who is a cardio kickboxer instructor. She's a trainer, and so I brought her over to the house and told my friend Rachel that he said, you see that girl over there laying by the pool? She was 19, and he said, I just took her virginity, and my friend Rachel was mortified. Damn, he was getting kickboxing training, and he knew he was going to be killed in jail. Based on what you knew, did Maxwell know the type of massages Jeffrey was getting typically involved sexual acts? Objection, foundational meeting, witness, yes. What was Maxwell's main job with respect to Jeffrey? Well, beyond companionship, her job as related to me was to find other girls that would perform massages for him and himself. Did Maxwell ever refer to the girls in a particular way? At one point, when we were on the islands, we were all watching the movie and she called us her children. Did anybody respond to that? I don't recall. Did she ever refer to herself as a mother? Yes, like a mother hen. Do you recall who was present at the time when she made that comment about children? This is the second trip that I took to the Virgin Islands, so no, I don't want to speak, incorrectly. I can't remember. I can't really remember. Have you ever met David Copperfield? Yes. Do you recall when you initially met him? Yes. Can you tell me what that was? Sure. Someone called me from the house and said that we'd be there, and if I wanted to come to dinner, then I could meet him. So when I arrived at the house, he wasn't there yet, but I waited with, I believe, Sarah Kellen. And there was another girl there which I had never seen. She seemed young to me. And I asked her what school she went to, kind of prodding to see if she went to one of the area colleges, and I didn't recognize the name of the school. And so I thought she could be younger than college age, but I had to assume for my own sanity that she was the daughter of one of his friends. But it was possible she was the school. Is it possible that the school she referred to was a high school? What a question. Does he even have allegations against him? Copperfield? Okay. Possible. School is hard. Okay. And what happened at that dinner, if anything? He did some magic tricks. Did you observe David Copperfield to be a friend of Jeffrey Epstein's? Yes. Did Copperfield ever discuss Jeffrey's involvement with girls with you? He questioned me if I was aware that girls were getting paid to find other girls. Did he tell you any of the specifics of that? No. Did he say whether they were teenagers or anything along those lines? He did not. Objection leading, blah, blah. Did you ever hear or observe Jeffrey talking on the phone about Frederick Fakai? Yes. What did you hear? I heard him call someone say, Fakai is in Hawaii. Can we find some girls for him? And what was your reaction to that? Well, I was massaging, and I didn't have a reaction. I tried to remain reactionless the whole 5 years. Did Jeffrey ever take you shopping? Yes. Can you describe? For me, what happened? Sure, he took me to Victoria's Secret. I believe he picked out everything and went into the room with me, the fitting room, which was very odd. Did he make any comments about being in the fitting room with you? He joked that one time he was in there with another girl, and she said something like "Dad," but that's all I recall. Did Jeffrey ever? How did they let a guy go into the fitting room with a girl? But
he's a billionaire, bro.
He joked that one time he was in there like, have you ever been propositioned by anyone? Have you ever been propositioned by anyone to have a baby for someone? Yes. And who propositioned you? Jeffrey asked me. Did he ask me more than once? Yes. What did he say? Basically just said, I want you to be the mother of my baby. And do you recall your response to that? I don't believe that I said flat out no. I didn't agree to it. I would just say, oh yeah, really? Okay. Destiny, that's pretty normal. Wait, really? I feel like every dressing room I've ever been in, they're really anal about like keeping people out of like the rooms with you. For example, people fucking in there. And maybe I just give off Coomer vibes and they don't like me going with any women. And do you recall your response to that? I don't. I don't believe that I said flat out no. I didn't agree to it. I would just say, oh yeah, really, okay. Do you ever bring other girls over as Maxwell would requested? Objection leading, hearsay form. Not Walmart. They were Victoria's Secret. One time. By Miss Collie. Let me back up a minute just to make it a clean question. Did you ever bring friends over to massage Jeffrey? Answer no. And why did you not bring friends over to massage Jeffrey? I was living in secret about what I was doing during the massages, and I did not want my friends to know what I was doing, so I did not want anyone else claiming or coming into that. Here we go. Was Bill Clinton a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? Objection Foundation. Miss Collie. Let me back up. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton. I did not know they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Do you recall ever taking a trip to Jeffrey Epstein's home in New Mexico? Yes. And do you recall who you went on that trip with? Sarah Kellen was there. Ghislaine was there. That's all I recall. Do you recall why you went on a trip to New Mexico to work? Do you perform do you perform massages on that trip? Yes. Do you recall whether you performed massages? That's the only mention?
And so in the context of that, saying, like, what did he think about the girls? Meaning, like, the girls that were participating in these activities. So he was talking about, like, underage girls, not
I don't think so. I don't think anything in here was about underage girls. Or I don't think anything explicitly called out underage girls.
Well, it doesn't have to be explicit. It's implied.
That's weak. That's really weak if that's what we're going on, to assume that Bill Clinton is a pedophile. When somebody's like, did Jeffrey ever talk about Bill Clinton? You're like, yeah. He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. I guess we could assume that she's...
Yeah, but, like, if it was in any other context, and, like, okay, whatever. But in the context of, like, they're literally on an island where little girls are getting diddled, and he's like...
I don't know if that's even what's being talked about here, though. Right now it talks about, they're just talking about, like, the trafficking stuff. Like, this isn't a line of questioning relating to, like, minors. Like, this is not, like, a line of questioning relating to that. Like, it sounds like this line of questions is relating to her, like, basically being trafficked. I don't know if it was being trafficked or being a prostitute, basically. It could mean that. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'm just saying, like, this isn't, like, 100% like, oh, my God, this is proof that she said that Jeffrey said that...
Of the
Bill
girls
Clinton...
on the island, he liked them young. What do you mean? Then why
Let me back up. Do you know if Bill Clinton was a friend of Jeffrey Epstein? I knew he had dealings with Bill Clinton. I did not know they were friends until I read the Vanity Fair article about them going to Africa together. Did Jeffrey ever talk to you about Bill Clinton? He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
So why wouldn't he say, like, women or young women?
Need to go back.
I don't know why she would have said girls instead of women, but, like, I don't know what the...
In the Monica Lewinsky trial, was she referred to as a young woman or a girl? Because you were saying that he likes young girls. Like, Monica Lewinsky was, like, 22 and he was, like, in his 40s. So was she referred to as a girl or a young woman?
Probably a woman, but people say girls sometimes.
But, like, yeah, but you cannot be this, like, obtuse on purpose.
I'm not being obtuse.
You are.
Hold on. People say girls a lot when they're talking about women of the age of majority. Do you agree or disagree? Wait, no, answer that question. Do you agree or disagree?
Sometimes. Not in this context. Not in the context of a pedophile ring.
But that's not what this line of questioning is even about. I don't even know if... Is this girl even alleged to have been underage at any time?
Alright, baby boys and
she's a 39-year-old
grown age of majority girls, it has been my pleasure to stream for the last 3 hours for you guys.
It just seems weird that
I'm going to be back early in the morning tomorrow, or more like at the crack of noon probably.
If this was like evidence, or if this was something saying...
it's Diablo on the menu for the foreseeable future. I might break up the monotony with a little bit of Sekiro or Cyberpunk, but if you're in the mood to even play some rounds of Diablo with me, maybe I'll bust out a multiplayer seasonal character. Uh, get up with me, and I will consider getting in possibly Discord or just game chat with you guys, and yeah, it's all love, and yeah, gotta get some sleep though. Take it easy, guys.